Well, good evening and welcome to the Orange County School Board's regularly scheduled meeting for this Tuesday, July 25th, 2023. And thank you all so much for being with us tonight. Board members are attending in person with the exception of Member Gould. Is Member Gould joining us at all or just not here? Okay, thank you. I also want to remind the public that the board will not be engaged in outside electronics or digital communication during the meeting so that we can focus our full attention on the meeting itself. To my fellow board members and any members of staff or of the public that are speaking to the board, please make sure you speak directly into the microphone and it is turned on so that our YouTube and Orange TV viewers can hear you clearly. Again, thank you for participating in this evening's meeting. We will now begin with a moment of silence to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And now for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we are going to begin this evening with a very important resolution that I want to acknowledge before we go on to any of tonight's business or our recognitions. I'd like to call on Member Felder, who will present this special resolution on behalf of the board. Member Felder.
Good evening, and thank you, Chair Jacobs. The Reverend Dr. Randolph Bracey Jr., who passed away on June 18th, Father's Day, championed for the undeserved and helped increase educational opportunities in Central Florida. He was also a key voice when Orange County Public Schools reached unitary status 13 years ago. The legacy of that agreement can still be felt today in our policies around the construction of new facilities, the retention and recruitment of a diverse staff, and notifying parents of middle and high school students about extracurricular opportunities. Before I read Reverend Bracey's resolution, let's watch these clips of his thoughts on unitary status that he shared with us at a school board meeting in 2010.
I'm Reverend Randolph Bracey, president of the Orange County branch of the NAACP. In every settlement or agreement of this nature, there will be compromises. You get some of what you want and you get some of what you might not want. The goal now, we're right on the precipice of unitary status. But when all is said and done, this is a day of rejoicing for both parties.
I'm so grateful for that perseverance of Dr. Bracey, because as a result of that, some of the schools that we were building, now all of the schools had the same equal opportunity to get the new facilities. He pushed for that. So when you see schools like Carver in my district or Eccleston and other schools in other districts that got renovation because he pushed that we would have equality across the board, even back in 2010. So I shall share with you this resolution. Whereas Reverend Dr. Randolph Bracey Jr. was a true pillar to this community, known to many as a compassionate leader and a guiding light to those in need. And whereas Dr. Bracey was a Jacksonville native and a lover of knowledge, as he would go on to attain several degrees, including a Bachelor of Science in Biology from Bethune-Cookman University, a Master's of Education from Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, a Doctor of Education from the University of Florida, and a Master of Divinity degree from Colgate-Rochester Divinity School. And whereas he knew he was bound for a higher calling and became licensed by the Bethel Baptist Institutional Church of Jacksonville, Florida, to spread the word of Jesus Christ. And whereas after 9 years serving as a pastor of First Baptist Church of Pascal in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Bracey returned to Florida in 1991 and was called to the Shiloh Missionary Baptist Church of Orlando. And whereas the following year, he and his wife, Dr. LaVon Wright Bracey, founded the New Covenant Baptist Church of Orlando, where he would serve as preacher until 2015. And whereas Dr. Bracey also wanted to give back to the school he says saved his life and became a founding dean of Bethune-Cookman University School of Religion, overjoyed to see the vision of BCU's founder, Mary McLeod Bethune, realized. And whereas his passionate advocacy to make sure every student has access to an excellent education in their neighborhood schools helped to make a difference in our schools. And whereas the former Orange County NAACP president is quoted as often saying, "Service is the rent you pay for the space you occupy." Dr. Bracey truly lived by this motto as he dedicated his life to leaving the world a better place than he found it. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Orange County does hereby acknowledge and declare that Reverend Dr. Randolph Bracey Jr. will remain a much-loved champion of education and resident of School Board District 5, who touched many lives and left a legacy of love and faithfulness that will continue for generations to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Felder. Thank you so much. If we can, it's so good to see you, Ms. Bracey. Thank you for being here. We miss your, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Dr. LaVon Wright Bracey, the widow,
Yeah.
excuse me. Dr. LaVon Bright Bracey, the widow of Dr. Randolph Bracey, is here. Would you please stand? And his beloved daughter, Representative LaVon Bracey Davis.
Thank you for joining us. I hope this short time is bringing you, and your faith is bringing you some peace. I know without faith there would be no peace, but I also know how incredibly strong your faith is. All right. I am also pleased to recognize that OCPS's Public Relations Department for receiving 5 digital media and publication awards from the National School Public Relations Association. The Public Relations team is OCPS Strategic Communications arm. The team's responsible for promoting the school district through district publications, marketing, graphic design, social media, and more. Since 1935, the National School Public Relations Association has been providing school communication training to school leaders throughout the United States and Canada. The organization awarded OCPS the following 5 awards, which you can see examples of on the screen above. Award of Excellence for the 2021-22 Annual Report and the 2022-23 Pocket Guide. An Award of Merit for the 2023 Stellar Awards Program. An Honorable Mention for the OCPS mobile app and website. The Public Relations team was recognized during the 2023 NSPRA National Seminar in St. Louis last week. Congratulations to the Public Relations Department, and thank you for all you do to elevate Orange County Public Schools. Can we bring up the team? Mr. Howard, can you bring up our team for us? And one of the things not mentioned in this award, but very important to us, is the communication that comes from our public relations team helps to keep our community informed of how extremely important public education is and the wonderful job that our employees do day in and day out to nurture our students and to see them succeed. And it is because of that effort that time and time again, our citizens, when we've gone to the ballot and asked for additional funding, they have granted it. And that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the phenomenal job that each one of you who works here does every day in every role that you play. And it wouldn't happen as well without the storytellers that you see in front of you, whose job it is to communicate the amazing work that you're doing. So we're going to take a quick picture of you all, and then if we could impose on Ms. Bracey and Ms. Bracey to come forward, we'd like to get a separate picture with you if we could. Thank you. All right, guys, you all first. Do you have the resolution? Okay, good. Don't plug this up. They should have put it in a proper folder for you.
Good. Big smile. Big smile again. Look amazing. Give me a ta-da.
Pathetic.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We're not gonna.
Thank you. Thank you for all your
I'll do. Yes. They did. I was just asking if we.
Did you teach her too?
Oh, well, they have it, but I can give it to them again.
Yeah, that looks good.
Okay.
In the paper?
Yeah,
We-
they have it
we-
really nice.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, we should have that. We don't have it. Yes.
Stay there.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
All right, good job.
Next, Dr. Vasquez, I'll call on you to introduce the next subject. Thanks.
Good afternoon. This afternoon, we are here to be able to present to the board and the public outcomes from our strategic plan. Some of you may be aware, the board took on the job we began the process in 2019 to renovate the existing strategic plan. They made some slight changes, including the addition of a goal that's solely focused on students' well-being. And so this afternoon, Dr. Border will be presenting our outcomes for this past school year, and then we are looking forward to board members' comments on our outcomes.
Good evening, Chair Jacobs, Superintendent Vasquez, and staff, and thanks for the opportunity to share the outcomes from our OCPS 2025 strategic plan. This evening, we will provide an overview of our strategic plan. We will review our district scorecard key performance indicator outcomes, and then we will turn it back over to Superintendent Vasquez and the board for comments and discussion. The graphic you see before you symbolizes our vision, mission, values, and objectives. We know that with our great team, when we achieve our objectives, applying our values, and fulfilling our mission, we will reach our vision, which is to ensure every student has a promising and successful future. Our first objective is high expectations for student learning. And within that objective, we have 3 goals affiliated with 5 key performance indicators. Our first goal is to close the achievement gap. Affiliated with closing the achievement gap, our first key performance indicator is to reduce the percent of low-performing schools, which is based on our D and F ratings. Our target for this past year was 2%, and our outcomes are still pending. Due to the assessment transition, the state will be releasing informational baseline school grades after the completion of the standard setting process for the new assessments. We also recognize that we have a new assessment this past year as well, which impacts making comparisons at this time. Our next affiliated key performance indicator for this objective is to narrow or eliminate the English language arts achievement gaps for all of our student groups. Again, this data will be finalized later on this semester, we suspect in the winter, and then we will have those outcomes to share. Our third key performance indicator for this objective is our narrowing or eliminating the achievement gap in mathematics. And again, we will await the release of that data to be able to share our outcomes from the past school year. Our next objective that we have is to promote early literacy, is our second goal for this objective of high expectations for student learning. And within that, we have one affiliated key performance indicator, which is to increase the percent of third grade students achieving at grade level or above performance on the statewide assessment in English language arts. Our outcomes from this past school year are 52%, and our target for next school year is 62%. Our final goal for the objective for high expectations for student learning is to offer multiple pathways to success. Our key performance indicator is to increase participation and performance in meaningful accelerated pathways. The middle school acceleration and the college and career acceleration component outcomes are dependent on the release of the 2023 data, which will come out later this fall. This is typical for the data release for this key performance indicator, as it always comes out in the fall preceding the end of the school year. Our next objective is support of student resiliency. And within this objective, we have a goal with two affiliated key performance indicators. Our first key performance indicator is to increase students' positive perceptions of classroom and school-wide culture. The data source for this key performance indicator is our Orange County Public Schools annual stakeholder survey, specifically the student survey topic for student climate. In grades 4 through 5, our students reported 61% favorable. Our students in grades 6 through 8 reported 33% favorable. And likewise, our students in high school reported 33% favorable. Our next key performance indicator for this goal is to increase our teachers' self-reported student resiliency, knowledge, and skill set. Previously, this topic was associated with social emotional learning, knowledge, and skill set. We've adjusted the questions that next year we will be specifically asking about student resiliency, and as a result, we did not collect outcomes on this topic this school year. Our next objective is a dedicated and high-quality team. Within our dedicated and high-quality team objective, we have 3 goals, each of which has an affiliated key performance indicator. Our first goal is to attract high-quality candidates for career opportunities throughout Orange County Public Schools. And the affiliated key performance indicator is to increase efficiency of recruitment efforts by diversifying touch points that include both in-person and virtual connections. Our target was 690 for this school year, and we concluded with 718 touch points. Our next goal for this objective of a dedicated and high-quality team is to develop and retain effective and diverse personnel. Our key performance indicator for this goal is to increase the retention rate of instructional and non-instructional personnel. As of July 2023, our retention rate is 86.2%, which is a 2.2% increase over this past school year. Our final goal for a high-quality and dedicated team is to promote employees' well-being. Our key performance indicator for this goal is to increase the use of district wellness resources. Screening leads to prevention and early detection, which creates the potential to lessen claims cost. The health insurance plan runs annually through October, so we will have our final quarter data to add to what you see here in November. As of third quarter data, we are at 24% for well visits, 69% for our breast cancer screenings, 64% for cervical cancer screenings, and 39% for colon cancer screenings. The team believes with the fourth quarter data that we will exceed the targets set for the year. Our fourth objective for our OCPS 2025 strategic plan is a positive climate and safe environment. Here we have one objective. This objective has one goal, which is affiliated with 2 key performance indicators. Our first key performance indicator is to increase our district's internal and external satisfaction rating, known as Net Promoter Score. Our 2022-23 outcome is 34% detractors. It's important to note that we moved this question from being last on our surveys in the past to being the first question asked this year. It's also important to note that the percentage of detractors for our families and for our employees actually decreased from where it was last year. Our staff with 6% less detractors and our families with 1% less detractors. Our final key performance indicator for this goal is our students' self-reported sense of belonging at their school. On the Panorama survey from this past year, our elementary students moved from 66% to 68%, our middle schools 36 to 35, and our high schools remained at 31%. Our fifth objective for the strategic plan is efficient operations. And within efficient operations, we have one goal: to deliver high-quality service by maximizing our resources to support identified needs. And with that goal, we have 4 affiliated key performance indicators. The first key performance indicator is increasing the amount of available resources through innovation and collaboration, which is part of our rebate program. We ended at $1,212,542 this year. It is important to note that $944,326 is from our refresh of the student devices from last year, which is why our target is still increasing for next year, but set at $300,000. Our next key performance indicator is to have a high quality and responsive customer service experience. Our outcome for this past year is 96%, exceeding our target of 90% for all information technology Easy Vista service request tickets. Our next key performance indicator is reducing our custodial cost per square foot. Our outcome is $1.79 per square foot. It is important to note also how much we value the feedback of our stakeholders, and within this, some adjustments were made this past year where elementary schools who only had 3 custodians received a 4th. Also, our resident custodians went from being responsible from 30,000 square feet to 10,000 square feet, which in some cases caused additional adjustments as well. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I apologize for interrupting you, but I'm noticing, with the help of my vice chair here, that we do have some seats open, and we have a lot of still a number of people that are having to stand. So if there's a seat open next to you, could you raise your hand? So anybody in the back that would like a seat? I'm seeing hands raised. Come on, take a seat. All right, y'all are being bashful. Come on down. Come on down. Okay. Thank you. All right, let's try it this way. If there's a seat open next to you, stand. Would you do that for me? Okay, you see these people standing? That means there's a seat. This is your last chance. If you want to come sit. Oh, I'm not asking you all to leave. I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to. Are you relieved? Tell me you're relieved, then I'll feel better. Yeah. You're relieved. Good. Okay. Jeez. Okay. Yeah, thank you. I feel like at church where I say everybody, well, I don't say it. Pastor, the priest always says, everybody move over. All right, we got anybody else back there that really wants a seat? Still think we can find a few. There's 2 right here.
There's 2 right here.
We got more seats up here. Come on.
One over here.
Be brave. Oh, they're leaving. I see a young woman back there with a mask. If you want to come sit with us, we'd love to have you. I might have said something funny, or something funny happened. I wish I knew. I could use a good laugh right now. Okay. All right, folks. Thank you for everybody. Thanks for your indulgence. Dr. Border, thank you for your indulgence
Absolutely.
as well.
Thanks, Chair Jacobs. Our last key performance indicator for this area is to reduce the number of classroom portables. And at the end of this year, we are at 1,275 remaining portables, which exceeded our target of 1,376. Our final objective for our OCPS 2025 strategic plan is an engaged and invested community. And within this, we have one goal with 3 affiliated key performance indicators. Our goal is to provide a community-wide network of support for students and families. Our first key performance indicator is to increase our total number of volunteers and partners in education. Our volunteers increased to 65,817, which is an increase of over 23,000, and our partners in education increased by 50 to 2,763 for this past school year. Our next key performance indicator for this affiliated objective is to increase total dollars raised by the Foundation for Orange County Public Schools. We increased this past year to just over $4.2 million, $4,260,000, exceeding our target of a little over $3.7 million. Our final key performance indicator is to increase opportunities for stakeholders to provide feedback across all Orange County Public Schools divisions. This was the first year for this key performance indicator, which was added to our strategic plan last year. We did have an outcome from last year of 251. We had a target this year of 276, and we concluded with 770 opportunities this past year, which we will look to increase by another 10% next school year. I want to thank the staff for all the hard work that went into obtaining our outcomes for this year. I want to thank the families and parents for choosing Orange County Public Schools, and I want to thank our students for all their efforts they put in every day to achieving an excellent education. And I want to thank this board and superintendent for their support of the OCPS Orange County Public Schools 2025 strategic plan. I turn it back to Dr. Vasquez and the board for comments and discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Border. Just a few comments on our outcomes and a little bit of context. We started out on this strategic plan right before COVID. And so some of our data was impacted during the years of COVID, and we're still recovering. So while there are some highlights, we still have a great deal of work to do, specifically in the area of a sense of belonging and positive perceptions of classroom and school culture. As we see, those numbers are very low for our secondary students. I do believe wholeheartedly that the strategies that we are putting in place for this upcoming school year, we're going to see an increase in that number, as well as the new organizational structure where our schools are now clustered in a manner where the ratio of principal leader to schools is no more than 1 to 12. And so while I am, I'm very excited about the areas where we did see a lot of growth, especially with the community engagement opportunities for us to get feedback. I am disappointed that we still have low perceptions from our students, and we need to do a better job of making them feel connected, making them feel that they are in a school where they are safe, supported, and successful. I look forward to comments from the board and to having a planning session after school starts so that we can have further conversations on our current KPIs and any changes or suggestions the board might have.
Thank you, Dr. Vasquez. Let's go to Member Salamanca.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Superintendent. I agree overall. These are some really encouraging numbers. There's two that stand out to me that I know contextually make sense as to where they are that I wanted to point out. One was that positive perception slide. I know we started measuring this in 2019, and some of our targets were based on that. But based on the rate of improvement, I think we're going to kind of set ourselves up for failure if we keep that target number as high as it is. And so I don't know if Rob, if we can pull up that particular slide, but we're just a little bit farther, I think. This is the positive perception. Done. Yeah. So I think we're sitting right now in some of these numbers, for example, 4th to 5th at 62%, 61%, 9th to 12th grade, 32 to 33, and our target by 2024 is 56, 62, 76. And so I would encourage this board to maybe reassess how realistic some of these targets are. Not because they're not a priority, but because I'd like our staff to be working towards something that's a bit more realistic on percentage, and acknowledging that a lot of this was impacted heavily by COVID days and COVID times, and some of these targets were set in 2019 before COVID. The second one that stood out to me was the custodial worker metric. I think for context that I'll give is, I came to this country when I was 7, and my parents worked all kinds of jobs to make ends meet, and many times 2 or 3 jobs. Both my mom and my dad were custodial workers at UCF and at OCPS for over 15 to 20 years. They retired at UCF. Our custodial workers are overworked, and there is a lack of them because there's not enough labor, period, right now in this economy. I hear from our principals all the time that they love their custodial workers, that they work closely with them, that they're out there cleaning after our students in the bathrooms and all kinds of stuff the students do. I don't feel comfortable with having this as a success metric that we hold ourselves accountable, which is cutting more costs and having custodial workers do more per square foot. So I would encourage this board to reconsider. This was not here when it's here now that I got here, but I would have not likely put this up there. I don't think it's a good measurement for us. I think I'm all for using the taxpayers' money efficiently and making sure we are responsible with our money. But this just doesn't feel like a great goal. So that would be all. Thank you.
Excellent point, Madam Salamanca. Vice Chair Gallo. Member Front.
Thank you, Chair. I absolutely agree with you. I think I would second a motion to look into that further and just even remove that. I think more than trying to penny pinch, I think making sure that all of our staff feel honored, respected, and valued. That's what we really want. We want to make sure. We really want to, and as well as students and our parents, and that would be one of the things that I noticed. I'm excited. I do feel like, Dr. Vasquez, you've really came in, you've got fresh vision, fresh eyes, restructuring things, trying to get exceptional principals into those principal leader roles, and just moving some things around, shifting things to make sure that it's an overall, if your child has to move from one school to the other, it's going to be that same feel, the same climate. That's what our goal is. I don't believe we're at that, but that is the goal. Reading and literacy, I'm super, super excited about that. So I appreciate that. I think, looking at that 52% literacy rate right now, to me, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I feel like as our expectation, what we should be at is we're hitting
way high numbers instead of just half of our students are at grade level reading. And so I'm excited for the literacy, the early literacy commitment that we have. Dr. Vasquez is looking at that, so really appreciate that. I think this is a good metric to look at and continue to be able to see is, what the new things that we're planning, is that actually working? And I'm very hopeful to see us hit those targets. Page 16 as well, with the student perception, I truly believe we must change the culture of our schools. Right now, I believe we've created a culture, not just in Orange County, I believe in the United States, we've created this culture of like an invisible culture where a student can walk into school and no one says hello, you sit down, you do your work, you move to the next class, no one says hello. I would say more so in a high school setting than in elementary. But then that student may go home, both parents may be working, they're alone. We're wondering why there is this loneliness, there's a mental health crisis with our young people. This does not help. And so I think if as a board we can even do a work session of how to help raise the level. I've heard some talk about, let's make sure that our high schoolers love the classes, and maybe that's what would help them. And I truly believe it's when they walk in the door and somebody is there, like, I'm going to shout out Cypress Creek, but the Smile Club that they have. Someone is at the door, one of their own peers is at the door as like a door greeter. Hey, welcome to school today. All right, I hope you have a great day. It's just somebody smiling at them. A smile can make your day. A smile can change someone's life. And so I think just having those little positive culture things, but I'd love to see us either do a work session or somehow work on that just to see if we can all kind of come up with some great ideas on what we can implement to make sure that our schools really are providing that positive culture, and see if that can help. We can see these targets reached.
Thank you, Member Ferrant. Vice Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Dr. Border, for all the work that you put in, you and your team put in for this update. This is great information. I have a couple of questions. First, I'll echo what two of my fellow board members have already said. I agree with the custodial. We shouldn't be looking to reduce cost at a time when we need human capital. We need people in our buildings, and they play an integral role into our facility. I think kids take more pride in a facility that looks clean, that is clean. And you learn better in a clean environment. So they're more important to us now than ever. So I would support removing that metric from our strategic plan. I think that makes sense. When it comes to kids feeling connected, we obviously have some work to do. I know that the DOE came up with their own version of a youth survey, and I think I asked you, Dr. Border, if we had those results. Do we have those results and what it looked like from the survey that we gave to the students?
So thanks, Ms. Gallo, for that question. In talking to staff, they did have conversations last year, and with the Department of Education, that survey last year was not administered.
Okay.
So we do not have those results. We do believe that we'll have some instruments this year moving forward to be able to ask questions relative to student resiliency.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And then obviously the 52% literacy rate in third grade, it's down 2% from last year. That's not the outcome that we want to see. We want to do better. We also understand that we're coming off of several years of COVID when there was a lot of instructional loss, and we're trying to play catch up and do intense services accelerating. So I expect those and hope that those numbers go up. Our NAEP scores that you shared with us, Dr. Border, I'm actually more concerned about 8th grade than I am about third grade, because in 8th grade being proficient, we're at 29%, which is really low. And we dropped from 39%, this was 2022 results, from 39% in 4th grade to 39% in 4th grade to 29% in 8th grade. We lost 10 points. And I mean, that's like, I'm sure that Dr. Vasquez is on it, but that's very concerning to me. And you can see similar numbers in math as well. So it's more prominent in reading. So I'm sure that we have some programming, but I'd love to hear more about what we're doing for 8th grade and how we're going to work on that deficit between 3rd and 8th grade to make sure that by the time they get to 10th, they're proficient, and we're making sure we're graduating students who will be able to succeed in a highly skilled workforce. That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let me go to, I'm sorry, Superintendent. I'm sorry, I thought I saw your name and it disappeared.
Excuse, I did. If you don't mind, I'll wait till everyone is finished. Is that all right?
Everyone is finished.
finished.
I was going to make some closing remarks, so yes.
Thank you. Yes, we agree with all of that, and I really do look forward to a planning session where we can dive a little bit deeper into some of the areas that deal with culture, student belonging. As far as the NAEP scores and our reading scores, we really have not hit the mark. We have tried professional development. We have looked at different programs. And what we do know is that the science of reading dictates how children learn how to read. At least those children that do not have, they may not have a learning disability or a processing problem, which is 88% of the population. And so what we need to do as a district is look at the science of reading, implement those strategies, support our teachers as they are implementing that with the appropriate resources, time, and that is where we will see an increase across the board. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Superintendent. One last, let me echo the comments, and I don't know if we need to take a vote or just a consensus that the metric that we have for custodial services is off point. It is extremely important that our campuses are clean. And during COVID, I know we had students unfortunately vandalizing soap dispensers and social media campaigns to wreak havoc in our schools, and working our custodians tirelessly to try to keep up with that. And so I think if I was going to measure something, I would measure the quality of the job or the quality of our schools, but I certainly wouldn't be looking at how much money we can save. So I completely support removing that. Is there anybody on the board that doesn't agree that I think we're all in agreement. If I made a motion, I think I had a second, third, and a fourth, so we're all good?
She's got it.
You got it? Okay, you got it. Thank you. The other thing that I think would be helpful, I share the board's and the superintendent's concern about where our students are academically. We do know that nationally, the pandemic didn't just last a year or two when it comes to academics. It is having a profound impact, and not to make excuses, but I do think when we look at these indexes, I think we need to look at where the rest of the state is, where's the nation, because when we talk about our students' mental health, I remember so many times talking to our students and saying, and to our teachers that were just worried sick about this, that we all need to just kind of take a deep breath and recognize, yes, we're in a competitive environment, but COVID affected the whole world. And I don't want our students being so uptight over those scores that it affects how they think of themselves. Because when we lose confidence in ourselves, when we lose our own self-esteem, it makes it even harder to do the good work we're capable of. So if we could include state averages, I think it would help to tell a fuller, more realistic picture. And quite frankly, if you go back a generation and you measure where these kids are compared to a generation ago, our kids are still rocket scientists compared to what was being taught and expected a generation ago. So we do have to put it in context. And again, I'm not saying where we are is okay. We all have to do everything we can. I know how committed the superintendent is to this, and I know how committed all of our employees are to raising these scores. But I want us to have realistic expectations. So if you could include that, I would really appreciate it. If there aren't any other comments from the board members, we'll move on. Thank you, Dr. Sporter.
Thanks, Chair Jacobs and Superintendent Vasquez. And we will more than happily retire that metric after the consensus of the board. And I also would share on that, on behalf of our custodians, Chair Jacobs, this past year, there were 420 schools inspected from July of 2022 to June of 2023 with a 94% satisfaction rate, speaking to the testament of their work. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the number I want us to celebrate. Thank you. All right. We have a new item we are adding. I think most of you all know tonight is our first night of a pilot program. The board wanted to change around how we run our meetings, and so we're trying this out through October 10th. So you're our guinea pigs, sorry. But we're going to ask for council reports from CTA, OSPA, OCASA, and the superintendent's student advisory committee. If they wish, we would love to hear from each of them. So beginning with CTA, I see Mr. McCracken making his way to the podium. Thank you, sir, as president of CTA. And I should point out this was Mr. McCracken's own recommendation and initiative, so thank you.
You're welcome. Good evening, Chair Jacobs, members of the board, and Dr. Vasquez. Thank you for the chance to speak at school board meetings as the representative of our teachers union and our more than 14,000 instructional personnel. I requested this time be added to board meetings so that their voices are heard when you're making these important decisions here. Thank you for providing this platform for our union comment. We must continue to cultivate a more positive culture for our employees. It's essential that our educators find joy and fulfillment in their work and feel respected by the district, by principals, and other leaders. When this environment is fostered, we see an increase in teacher retention, leading to greater stability for our students. We all know how significant relationships are in the classroom in fostering student success. Similarly, the relationships between administrators and teachers have a powerful impact on the work environment. Principals set the tone for the entire school, and when they prioritize building a collaborative culture that values and respects teachers, it affects everyone, including our students. I conducted an end-of-the-year survey to gather feedback from our educators. I asked if they would recommend their principals to other teachers. The responses shed light on the power of relationships. We received heartwarming comments from many who praised their principals for fostering strong, supportive, and collaborative relationships. We also heard concerns from other teachers who said that they dread going to work every day and that the culture they experience is anti-teacher and that admin even discourage union participation. It's important to me to have a positive and respectful relationship with district leadership. We may not always agree, but we will be civil. I want to challenge anyone in the district who holds old notions of administrator, teacher, and union relationships to embrace a fresh perspective. A positive work environment will increase teacher retention. I've been elected to be a defender of our teachers and of our contract. I'm here to share that our union isn't a thorn in the side of this district. CTA is a benefit, and we increase teacher retention and recruitment. This union has been around since 1942, and we aren't going anywhere. I'm happy to share that we're on a path to be here for many years to come. Again, I offer my thanks for the opportunity to share perspectives from our educators. Let's continue to build a thriving and respectful culture in our district, resulting in retaining highly qualified teachers and student achievement. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to commend Mr. McCracken for those words and support of our teachers, and for pointing out the importance of the relationship between administrators and teachers. And I know, having taught for 15 years, what you say is very true. And I will do everything I can in my position on the board to ensure that those relationships are positive, and where they aren't, I will help work to improve them. Thank you.
Member Felder.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to thank Mr. Clinton for those words. I have been a teacher, and I still consider myself a teacher, for over 30-some years in Orange County Public Schools. I was educated in Orange County Public Schools, and my mom was a teacher for 38-plus years in Orange County Public Schools. And we need a union. We need advocacy. And as a board member and as a former teacher who still considers herself as a teacher, I would always advocate for support for our teachers. I remember some of the things that I went through as a teacher. I also remember having some negative feedback about being a part of a union, but I'm going to tell you something, that's the best choice you can make, is to have support for what you do. And I'm excited about this new year coming up. It's my hope that we will continue to work to support our union, and teachers need to know that the members on this board, we do hear you. You need to know that we do hear you, and we thank you for your service to public education, and know that you do have an advocate. You do. Thank you so much for your words.
Thank you, Member Felder. We're going to hear next from Mr. Pollard, the president of OSPA. Is he here? There you are.
All right. So, thank you. I want to thank you all, Chair, School Board, Dr. Vasquez, as the sole representative of our support staff here, and as president of OSPA, who is so greatly represented in this room today. I want to thank y'all for the collaborative relationship we've worked so hard to cultivate here. You see so many of these employees here, but before I do, I want to say this. I heard the comments about the custodians. You're exactly right. They are overworked, and they are considered the bottom of the barrel, and anything we want done, do it. And they are not treated as if they are as great as some other employees. But I'm here as a grandfather right now, and my little granddaughter is over there, and she asked me coming in today. She saw all these blue shirts. She says, "Is Miss Cupcake gonna be here?" Right here. They know Cupcake is a bus driver. Cupcake and all of these other bus drivers represent my grandkids, 3 of them in Orange County Public School, leaving home in the morning and getting back safely in the afternoon. They want to be respected also. And I'm here to stand with them with respect. And ditto to Clinton, the great things he said is we're also under that same fire when we got management of these people who make mistruths about the union, and the union doing this and the union do that to discourage union membership. They know who they are. I'm not calling anybody by name. They know who they are. And we know what it's for. And I'm going to tell you, OSP ain't going nowhere either. No matter who has predicted our demise, I've been president for 7 going on 8 years, and I've been told we're going to die for 8 years, and we ain't dead yet. Excuse me, teachers, I know that's not proper English. So, again, I want to thank you all, but I want y'all to remember that we need these people every day. All right? Thank you all.
Mr. Pollard, thank you so much. You know, to everyone here in the room, if I can just take a moment, all 4 of my kids went to Orange County Public Schools from kindergarten through 12th grade. And I saw some of the most amazing people who taught my kids. I saw my kids get on the bus, and I saw fights on the bus. And I saw bus drivers stepping in, pulling off the side of the road, breaking it up. Y'all, YouTube, Orange County Commissioner breaks up bus brawl. YouTube it, and you will see me on one of your buses. I was doing an interview with Channel 9 on a totally different subject, and there was a bus pulled over. It was a bus with children with disabilities. And my kids had told me how hard your job is, but I also had an opportunity to be on that bus calling 911 because of what you were trying to deal with and to safely transport our kids. So every single individual who comes in to work in Orange County Public Schools plays an indispensable role in what is the most important role of government in the United States. Some would say it's the military, and I have the greatest respect for anyone who would put their life on the line for us, and law enforcement. But if it weren't for each of you that turns a generation around, as you do time and time again. I tell this story all the time. In 2000, only 50%, less than 50% of our kids were graduating. Yeah. Today, that number is just about 90%. Imagine how different those young people are going to be in raising their own families. That's because of what you do. That's the reason that when I left as mayor, there was no place else I wanted to be but here. There's no position at the state level, at the national level, that is more important than what happens in our local schools than each of you. So we want you to feel respected. We want to make sure that the people that you're working for treat you Clinton said we need to be civil even when we disagree. I one-up you on that, Clinton. We need to be not just civil, we need to be respectful, and we need to be kind, even in our disagreements. And we need really hard to work to understand each other. And on that front, I will tell you, I think the district fell short when it came to the bus driving route issue. Now, time out. I'm not saying we can put the routes the way they were. I'm saying I don't think we did a good enough job communicating why we had to do this. And I think you are so important to us that we need to treat you as our peers, not as our employees. We need to treat you as valuable members of this team, and we owe it to you when we have tough decisions to make. We owe it to you to be upfront and let you know in advance. I got several emails, and the first thing I wanted to do was figure out why, because if I don't know why, I don't know how to trust anybody. So we can always be improving. We need to be improving. We can't ask anything of you that we don't demand of ourselves. But I do want to just close with telling you that you all could not have better leadership than you have today in Mr. McCracken and Mr. Pollard. You just could not. They are fierce advocates for you. And Mr. Pollard has taught me that I don't care what your job is. You are professionals. And I am thankful that you drilled that into my head, because you are so right. Everyone who works here is a professional, and they need to be acknowledged for that and treated that way. But you have fierce advocates, but they're so effective for you. So please know you are in good hands with them. And with that, let me turn to Member Farrant. And thank you very much for your patience and indulgence. I think I went over my time. Member Farrant.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to just take the opportunity really just to encourage parents who are listening as well. When we are raising our children, let's raise our kids to respect everyone. It doesn't matter if you are the President of the United States or if you're a teacher or you're a parent walking in. It doesn't matter if you're a custodial worker. It doesn't matter if you're the volleyball coach. I don't care who you are. Our kids have to learn to respect everyone. We greet everyone. Hello, how are you? And we treat them as if they're our family. To me, that's how I would want to be treated. I would want my kids to treat anyone, whether if you're hopping on the bus. My kids haven't ridden the bus, didn't get that opportunity. They love going on field trips on the bus, but growing up, I rode the bus to public school every day, and I still remember my bus drivers. You guys have a strategic and a key role in our kids' lives. And I think just being that smile on when they hop on the bus every morning, and you know a lot of things, maybe even about them. They share things with you, and just about their day and how they're doing. And so I thank you guys for what you're doing. Just know that as a board, we really truly are wanting to make sure that you are getting the best case scenario, whatever we can offer. I know our bus driver shortage, there's a lot of things that are kind of going back and forth, but I do want to make sure that we are giving you the best. Just know that all of us have your best interests at heart. I know sometimes there's change or things that are different than the way it's been, and change is not always easy, but we do want to make sure if there is ways that we can communicate it better, shoot us an email and just say, hey, if you had shared it like this, that may have helped, or things like that. That is very helpful for us. That helps us know how can we communicate it better to you. And I know not everybody will always be happy, but just know that we do truly care and love you guys, and thank you so much. Those are my words.
Thank you, Member Farrant. All right, next we're going to hear from Nate Hay, representing OCASA. Welcome.
Good evening, members of the Orange County School Board, Dr. Vasquez, Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Williams. My name is Nate Hay, and I'm the proud principal of Lake Silver Elementary. As I stand before you today, I'm also the president of the Orange County Association of School Administrators. On behalf of OCASA, we'd like to express our deepest gratitude for the opportunity to address this distinguished board. As educators and administrators, we are deeply committed to fostering an environment where every student in Orange County Public School System has the chance to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Today, I wish to underscore the pivotal role of school principals and assistant principals in achieving the shared vision of ensuring that every student has a promising and successful future. Our school leaders are not merely administrators. They are champions of educational excellence and beacons of inspiration for both students and teachers alike. The tireless efforts put forth by these dedicated professionals lay the foundation upon which our students' dreams are built. They lead with passion, compassion, and a steadfast commitment to nurturing a positive school culture that values diversity and inclusivity and academic growth. The principal's role in our school community cannot be understated. They are the instrument in setting the tone and direction for the entire school, encouraging a culture of continuous improvement and accountability. Principals provide unwavering support to teachers, encouraging their professional development and empowering them to become transformative educators. Through their leadership, they foster a sense of belonging and pride among students, motivating them to excel both inside and outside the classroom. Likewise, the assistant principal plays a vital role in enhancing the overall educational experience. They work closely with principals to ensure the smooth functioning of the school, handling a wide array of responsibilities from discipline to curriculum coordination. Their dedication and hard work are essential to maintaining a safe and conducive learning environment, conducive learning environment that nurtures the potential of every student. In recognizing the importance of school principals and assistant principals, we must also acknowledge the challenges they face daily. The growing complexity of education, coupled with external factors beyond their control, can sometimes create obstacles. However, it is through unity, understanding, and collaboration between the school board, district administration, teachers, classified staff, and OCASA that we can overcome these challenges and forge a path towards even greater success. OCASA pledges to work tirelessly for the betterment of our educational system. We aim to be proactive advocates for change, ensuring that our schools have the necessary resources, support, and professional development opportunities to continue delivering the highest quality of education. I want to express our sincerest gratitude to the Orange County School Board, Superintendent Dr. Vasquez, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Armbruster, and Dr. Williams for providing OCASA with the platform to advocate for our principals and assistant principals. Together, we can create an educational environment that nurtures the dreams of our students and prepares them to become responsible, empathetic, and successful global citizens. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. That concludes our comments from our representatives. Let me call on Dr. Vasquez to see if we have any changes to our agenda. Pardon me? I'm sorry. Yes. Please, would you announce and introduce our new administrators?
Thank you. And we have quite the number of newly appointed administrators. Exciting times for us all. So we're going to start off with Cooper Alexander, who is going to be the new principal of Lake Como K-8 school. Is Cooper here? Oh, yeah, Cooper, come on up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, Cooper, I saw you standing there. I go, wait, is it not him? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, school board members, Superintendent Vasquez, and staff for this opportunity to serve Lake Como School. I would also like to thank all the help that I've got along the way from Dr. Fritzler, Mr. Leslie, and of course, my mentor, Mr. Paul E. Browning, and as well as my loving wife for all her support and dedication to me and my craft and everything I do. Thank you.
Next, we have Felicia Boyd, who will be the new Senior Director of Orange Technical College, the main campus.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you, school board members,
Superintendent Vasquez, and staff for this opportunity to serve at Orange Technical College, main campus, and the Avalon campus. I would also like to acknowledge so many leaders that have been instrumental in my path and development, making it in my 25th year to this position. My father, who is present, Ernest Boyd, retired, OCPS 40 years. My mother, who is watching over this event, 34 years in OCPS. She has gone on to heaven. My mentors, Mr. Calvin Lang is present, Ms. Cynthia Walker-Brand. And I am so grateful to also thank Dr. Harold Border, my principal at Freedom High School. I was one of his counselors, Dr. Bridget Williams, instrumental in my development. Dr. Michael Armbruster, Deputy Superintendent, Career and Technical Education. He served as our Associate Superintendent. And also Dr. Schuler was one of my babysitters as a child coming up. And so many of my Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority sisters also present. I am grateful for this opportunity, well equipped and ready to serve. Wow. Thank you again for this chance.
I know she is.
We have 3 pages of administrators, so if the board is okay, I'm going to thank the board and myself on behalf of all of the candidates, so then you can just go ahead and thank your family and your mentors, just for the sake of time. So next we have Katie Brinkman, who's going to be the new principal at Columbia Elementary School.
Good evening. I will follow directions. I would like to thank my mentors, Seth Daub and Christy James. They have continued to support me and mentor me, so I'm very thankful for their guidance. I would also like to thank my family who is here with me this evening for their encouragement and support. I am very excited to go to Columbia Elementary tomorrow to serve as the principal. It is where I did my first internship through UCF. Yeah. So I'm very excited to serve my community of East Orlando. Thank you.
Next, we have Paul Bryant, who is going to be the new principal at Positive Pathways Transition Center.
If you don't know where we're located, we're at 6125 North Orange Blossom Trail. And please come visit us. That's to everyone up here. Please come visit us. First and foremost, I want to thank my mentors, Mike Armbruster and Greg Moody, for giving me the opportunity to become the proud principal at Positive Pathways. I'm excited about my next vision because I'm going to make it, as I've heard tonight, I'm going to make it better than when I found it. So I'm going to change everybody's perception of Positive Pathways. I want to thank my family, my parents who are both watching online with 40 years of education. Being in the grind of it, I just want to thank them, and then I want to thank my immediate family right here, my fiance and my 2 boys, and 1 boy is watching online. But I just want to thank everyone, and I hope you have a great night.
Next, we have Aislinn Candelario. I hope I didn't mispronounce your name. You're going to be the new assistant principal at Inglewood Elementary.
Thank you. I would just like to take a minute to thank all of my OCPS teachers for instilling a lifelong love of learning. I would like to thank Danielle Spooney and Ann Lionel and all the other administrators I've had as a teacher. And I would like to thank Heather Adams, who was my mentor teacher my very first year of teaching and continued mentoring me throughout my career, and then my family for coming and supporting me. So thank you.
Next, we have Myrna Cardona, who will be the new assistant principal at Hungerford Elementary.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you. I am so happy for this opportunity, and I want to thank my family, especially Ms. Harris, for believing in me, for taking me under her wing. This is the best thing that has ever happened to me. Thank you for bringing me home. Oh, and I want to thank my children. My son Tito over there, his girlfriend Siani. I got so emotional. Elijah, my son, and my 2 other sons are watching online. They couldn't be here today. Thank you.
And Myrna, OCPS is the best district, so we are very happy that you crossed the line. Next, we have Mary Elizabeth Clark, who's going to be the new principal at Citrus Elementary.
I just want to thank my incredible mentors that I've had along my journey here in Orange County Public Schools, especially Dr. Helton. Thank you to Dr. Jones and to Rob McClough for giving me this opportunity. And I look forward to continuing the amazing work that's already started at Citrus and to being a honeybee.
Next, we have Chris Davis, who is going to be the new principal of our Relief High School for Lake Nona.
Thank you, everybody. I'd like to thank all the wonderful principals that I've worked for over the years, particularly Lo Phillips, Chris Bernier, Danny Axtell, Patty Bowen Painter, Susan Abbey, and Martha Chang. And without a doubt, my wonderful wife, Missy, she's in for the long ride.
All right, next we have Cruz Antonio Diaz, who's going to be the new principal at Rosemont Elementary.
All right, I actually took some notes, so I'm going to go ahead and read them out. Be fast about it. All right. Thank you to Dr. Aaron Brewster and Principal Leader Lino Rodriguez for the opportunity to serve at Rosemont Elementary, the best school in OCPS. Over the last 2 years, I had the privilege of serving the students, teachers, and the community as assistant principal at Rosemont Elementary. All right, I have seen the great growth in the students, and I am excited to continue that work of helping our Eagles rise and overcome. I want to thank my professional mentors, Dr. Nate Stevens, Dr. Brown Cannon, our principal, Dr. Ellis, who's now here in the ELC, Ms. Demetra Clemens, Mr. Derek Nappins, he's right there, my old principal. I would also like to thank my beautiful wife, Ashley. She was looking at me right now. My 4 kids who are here, it's been a hard time keeping them quiet this whole time. Thank you to the best assistant principal as well, Ms. Rebecca Young, who's our assistant principal right now. And I'm looking forward to this, and Eagle Nation, let's fly. Yeah.
Next, we have Andrea Marta Maria Doster, who is going to be the new assistant principal at Vista Point Elementary.
I also took some notes. I am humbled to be here tonight to accept the appointment. I'd like to thank Dr. Bailey and Mr. Lindlaw for your encouragement this past school year and for allowing me to grow under your leadership. Ms. Smith, I look forward to learning from you and continuing to help Vista Point to grow. I would like to thank Mrs. Suggs for cultivating my love of instructional leadership and always providing me with opportunities to grow as an educator. You are an example of servant leadership. Your example of servant leadership has not only empowered myself, but all of the educators and students that you work with. Thank you to my family, friends, and colleagues, many who are here and in the overflow room. And to my supportive husband. Sam, thank you for always encouraging me to do more. Everything I do for you and Charles. Lastly, I'd like to thank my parents who are in Columbia tonight. Hi, Mom. Thank you for providing me with the experiences in my life that have helped shape my outlook and perspective as an educator. Mom, you are the educator that I always aspire to be, 41 years with OCPS. Thank you for being the reason I'm here today. I am blessed, to say the least. Thank you all.
Kimberly Elkins is going to be the new principal at Princeton Elementary.
I also have notes, and I'm going to stand back here where all of you are.
10 years ago today, I started my administrative journey, leading me into this very moment. I will begin 25 years with OCPS this coming school year, and it's going to be the best year and the most amazing adventure. I want to thank my parents, Nancy and Bob, who's watching on TV, my twin sister, Jenny, and my niece, Madison, who are here with me today. Thank you for your unending support and encouragement throughout these last 25 years. To the many principals I've had the privilege to work beside, whose leadership has taught me so much and molded me into the leader I am today, I will always cherish you. Thank you, Susan Abbey, for watching from Switzerland, and Amanda Maxwell for being with me tonight. To my Princeton family, you are my why. For those of you who are here watching virtually, you are my why and the reason I cannot wait to get to work every day and I never want to leave. Hear me today when I tell you I am the lucky one and have been given a priceless gift in being your principal. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support, encouragement, and always going above and beyond for our Panthers. This is going to be a year we will never forget. Thank you.
Amber Faircloth is the new assistant principal at Lake Como K-8 school.
Thank you all for this opportunity. I'd also like to thank Dr. Armbruster, Dr. Fritzler, and Mr. Leslie for trusting me with this new role, and Mr. Alexander, my new principal, for his continual encouragement. To my principal of 8 years, Mr. Charlton, I am thankful for his guidance and support, and also to my wonderful friends and family, my husband Lee, my son Finn, my mother and father-in-law, my best friend Margaret Ragley, and my family watching at home. I love you all. Thank you.
Marta Fernandez will be the new assistant principal at Walker Middle School.
Oh, that was yours. Sorry about that. We have 2 mics.
Well, first I want to thank you, the board, but I was told not to say that, so let me focus on my husband and my children. I want to thank you for all their support. To my family in Spain, who I left 20 years ago to come to this country, and also to my former administration at OCPS, especially Ms. Watson, Ms. King, and Mr. Corlo. I also want to thank you, Ms. Brown, for giving me this opportunity, and I want also to special mention the leadership team at Walker Middle School, who do a tremendous work every day. Thank you.
Next, we have Derek Fontaine, who's going to be the new principal at College Park Middle.
All right, I would like to thank Dr. Fritzler and Ms. Gibson-Link for this amazing opportunity. I want to extend a heartfelt thanks to all my colleagues whose support and camaraderie have challenged me to be the best version of me. Your teamwork and passion for education is an inspiration. A special thanks goes out to all my mentors. There are way too many, so I really could not name them all, but your unwavering guidance and wisdom and support throughout my career, as well as your belief in my abilities, has shaped me into the leader I am today. Lastly, I would like to thank my beautiful wife, Melinda, as well as our 2 daughters, Bianca and Gianna, along with my in-laws, David and Anna. Your unwavering love and understanding has been the driving force behind my success. I thank you for sharing me throughout all these years with the students of OCPS. That is never easy. And then I look forward to continuing and making a positive impact in the lives of our students and the College Park community.
Thank you.
Charles France is going to be the new principal at Freedom High School.
Over the past 33 years in Orange County Public School, many peoples have supported me, influenced me, mentored me, and inspired me, including Mr. Bill Spoon, Dr. Larry Payne, Gene Cherchinsky, Steve McKinney, Warren Little, Renee Wright, Jackie Ramsey, Hugh Harris, Ernie Larson, Dr. Kathy Blackburn, the great Jones High School community. From my Freedom High School family, special thanks go to the pride of Chambersburg High School, Dr. Harold Border, Dr. Rolando Bailey, Miss Neely, our Princess Jessica Smith, and our current staff, Alicia Duarte, Trevor Cox, and the incomparable Ali Cagliari. I would not be in the position or the man I am today without May 12th, 1988, when at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh, PA, I saw my beautiful wife, and she's made me a better man every day since. To Christina France. To the Freedom High School students, family, teachers, staff, and community, this is the greatest honor in my professional career to be part of you and lead you and serve you. I am so proud to be a patriot. We are freedom. Let's go.
Jennifer Fugate will be the new principal at Lake Nona Middle School.
Thank you. Good evening. I'd like to personally thank two amazing principals and wonderful mentors tonight, Nikki Campbell and Becky Watson, as they have both shown me how to lead with dignity and pride in throughout my last 6.5 years at East River High School, and I'm forever grateful for their friendship. I am so excited to take that knowledge and commitment with me to the Lake Nona Knight community. My biggest supporters are here tonight as well, somewhere in the back room. My husband Chase and my son Hudson, and I am forever grateful for their love and support as well. Thank you very much.
Shonda Green will be the new assistant principal at College Park Middle.
Thank you, Board. I'm a Baptist preacher, so I'm not going to stay too long before somebody pulls my coattail. But I would like to thank the students who inspired me to instruct, to inspire, for all of the educators who encouraged me to keep going each and every day when I was in the classroom. And I want to thank Dr. Sean Brown, who hired me from Kelly Subs at South Creek Middle School.
Wow.
I want to thank one of my first of my many mentors in OCPS, Dr. Tricia Phillip McGee, who saw something in me. Dr. Sheila Wyndham, who just gave me good direction. And I want to thank Miss Wendy Ivory, who always was there for guidance and always made me feel like number one. Dr. Raheem Jones and Miss Mindy Smith for telling me that I'm ready and also asking me, what are you waiting on? To Dr. Fritzler and also, what we'll do with Dr. Fritzler, telling me it's going to be okay. Just go with it. It's going to be okay. All of these fine educators are why I'm here today. But my wife and my kids are why I stay here today. They are my backbone. They are my all in all. And I thank God for each one of them. I thank God for all of those who are in the Orange County community who have shown me friendship. My church, St. John Baptist Church, my prayer warriors there, as well as my prayer warriors back in Alachua County, home of the University of Florida Fighting Gators. Go Gators. To my new principal who is entering in, Fontaine, Bulldogs rise. We got it.
All right.
Fabiola Guillaume is going to be the new assistant principal at Westridge Middle School.
Thank you. I am honored and humbled to take on the awesome task to serve the students and families at Westridge Middle School. I am very thankful for the leaders that have guided me so far. To name just a few, Dr. Brown Cannon, thank you. Dr. Wyndham in the back, thank you. Ms. Flores, Mr. Bond, and the icing on the cake, Ms. Gibson Lank, who was my first principal and is now here today seeing me making my first step as an assistant principal. I also thank my current principal at Westridge Middle School, Nicole Jefferson, and the admin team at the school and the staff who have welcomed me with open arm, kindness, and patience. Before this board, I am dedicating myself to support and work alongside my principal at Westridge Middle School in creating a culture where every student, faculty, staff are valued. And the best part today is my mother's birthday. So happy birthday, Mom. She's watching online.
Samantha Geis. Did I pronounce it correctly? Thank God somebody taught me phonics. He's going to be the new assistant principal at Hillcrest Elementary.
Thank you. I would like to especially thank my husband and my 4-year-old twin boys who are at home right now watching. Wouldn't be able to do this without you. And I'd like to thank Dr. Cryle, Steve Conti, Dr. Osborne, Miss Gibson-Link, and Mrs. Tannenbaum for taking the opportunity to let me come in and shine and help out OCPS. And I look forward to serving Hillcrest. Thank you.
Mr. William Harris will be the new principal at Moss Park Elementary.
Thank you, Board. I'm excited to join Moss Park Elementary, a school that focuses on both proficiency and the creativity of its students. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Angela, for being my biggest cheerleader and my support throughout this journey. I want to thank my family who cheered me on to help me and provide me with perspective. I want to thank my mentors, Dr. Williams, Dr. Schuler, Dr. Brown-Cannon, Dr. Jones, and Dr. Helton for always pushing me to this position which I'm in now. And I also want to thank those principals of the schools that I've been at, Dr. Thornton, Ms. Gramando, Ms. Harrelson, Ms. Kirby, Ms. Haupt, Mr. Brown, Ms. Biddick, and Ms. Feliciano for your mentorship, your guidance, and your friendship. I'm looking forward to leading Moss Park to excellence while soaring.
All right. John Lenahan is going to be the new principal at Lakeview Middle School.
All right, I'm really excited about this position. I love that community. I've worked there for a long time. At the beginning of my career, I was working with Dr. Armbruster, and I asked him, what was the most important thing about being a principal? And this was when he was younger, so he may have changed his mind, but it stuck with me. He said, "You're the keeper of the vision." So that always stuck with me, and it was kind of one of those statements that inspired me to stay in education and go for it. It's been a long haul. It's been 30 years, and I've always dreamt of this day when I come up here and speak, and I thought I'd say something really inspiring, but I don't know if I came up with anything, but that community is great. The school is great. I want to thank my daughters, Jamie and Jessie. They both graduated from West Orange High School. And my wonderful wife, who's supported me, and every time I didn't believe in myself, she always picked me up and got me back on my feet. And hey, I'm finally here, and this is my moment, and I'm excited. She's on vacation in North Carolina. I did not go on vacation this year, obviously, because I just got appointed to a new school. So she's having fun. I hope she sees me online. Love you, honey. I'm here.
Elaine Lundberg is the new principal at West Oaks Elementary.
Thank you. While I'm taking on a new role, I'm returning home to my West Oaks family. I was assistant principal there for 3 years and supported them in another role last year. Thank you, Mrs. Thompson, my former principal, for showing me how to build a family that puts each child first and helps them find success. I'm honored to sit in your office. While there's not enough time to name all those that have made a profound impact on me throughout my career, I understand these special moments. Thank you to all my teammates that have walked beside me. Thank you for all of my administrators that took a chance on me, Mr. Bixler, Ms. Vereen, Ms. Thomas, Ms. Donaldson. You have taught me a lot of things. May I use all that you've taught me to make an impact. To all of my cheerleaders that have asked me for years when I was going to become the principal, some of you for over 15 plus. One of them, it's her birthday tonight, so happy birthday, Miss Fredicelli. Miss Mindy Smith, I am forever grateful to you for your mentorship and your time as I worked beside you the last 2 years. Dr. Jones, we did it. We worked together. We accomplished great things. Thank you. I hope to make both of you proud. And finally, thank you to my family, there they are. My husband, Grant, my son, Gavin, and Ada, my Desiree daughter that watches online, my mom, my dad, and my sister who are watching in Georgia, and my husband's family as well. This certainly would not be possible with all of you. I love you, and thank you for believing in me.
Karen Marie Pope will be the new assistant principal at Waterford Elementary.
Thank you, school board members, Superintendent Vasquez, and staff for this opportunity to serve Waterford Elementary School. Thank you to my family, the most important pillar of my life, my husband, Derek, my daughter, Erin, and they are my greatest strength. I look forward to working with Principal Willis and the Waterford Elementary School staff to ensure that every student has a promising and successful future.
Caleb Scott Root will be the new assistant principal at Cypress Creek High School.
Thank you. I want to take an opportunity to be able to shout out probably one of the best people you can work with, Principal Marisol Mendez, who's right next to me right now. She has been instrumental in giving me and advising me giving me plenty of opportunities to work with all of the slashes, with all the patients, with everything, just to be able to become a better educator, to become a better leader, and now to be the assistant principal at the great community of Cypress Creek High School. It's truly been a privilege to share in your vision and serve that community, so I really am very grateful to everything that you've done. There are also many, many other people that have helped me along the way that have been great teammates, great support, including some of our fantastic people that we've seen today. Mr. Fontaine, Ms. Quinones is here, right here, Mr. Wagner. Just your support has been extremely valuable, and I appreciate it very much. Lastly, I want to say thank you again to my beautiful and supportive and patient wife, Carrie, who is, along with my 4 kids, Ryan, Kaylin, Tyler, and Grayson, jumping out of practice right now to watch me online right now. You are the greatest support, the best thing that could have happened to me. You're the foundation for everything I do. And I'm so grateful for everything and all the patience that they had with me over the years. So I am extremely excited to be continue to be a part of Cypress Creek High School, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
Arlene Rosa is the new assistant principal at Cypress Springs Elementary.
Thank you. I want to thank Dr. Fritzler and Mr. Leslie for giving me this opportunity, to my mentors, the many of mentors that I've had over the years, my family, and son, who's right sitting there, and especially to my husband, Brad, for being my #1 supporter. I am so excited to serve the Cypress Springs community.
Brad Rosa is the new principal at Azalea Park Elementary.
Thank you, Ms. Miller, for the opportunity to continue the amazing work at Azalea Park. Today would not be possible without many mentors along the way: Dr. Jones, Dr. Fritzler, Dr. Bradshaw, Ms. Smith, Mr. Martinez, Dr. Wyndham, Mr. Leslie, Sean McGuire, Carl Fox, and Karen Verano. My family's unwavering support, my son Braden as well, and my wife Arlene, who you guys just met, who continues to make sure our dreams come reality.
Andrew Schwartz will be the new principal at Baldwin Park Elementary.
Wow. There you go. All right.
First, I would like to thank all of those who have supported and guided me through my professional journey up to this point. I especially want to thank Dr. Jones and Ms. Davis-Wilson for believing in me and giving me this opportunity to lead Baldwin Park. I finally want to thank my family for their support and putting up with these many sleepless nights this summer while waiting for this day to come. And I can't wait to go to Baldwin Park tomorrow morning and hit the ground running. And thank you to the Rosas for stealing my thunder, because my wife's up next too.
Katie Schwartz is the new assistant principal at Sand Lake Elementary.
I am honored to be here tonight. I want to thank Katie Phillips for having me join your leadership team. We are going to make a fantastic team. Thank you to Dr. Julie Helton, Suzanne Workham, Mindy Smith, Dr. Christine Szymanski, and Dr. Shauna Rafalski. These strong women helped mold me into the leader that I am today. Thank you to all of my family and friends who had cheered and supported me over the years. Thank you to my beautiful daughters, Brooklyn and Scarlett. I am so proud to be your mommy. Last but not least, I want to thank my husband, Andrew Schwartz. 11 years ago, we met on the 8th floor of this building. You are my best friend and love of my life. I am so proud that we can grow in our leadership journeys together here tonight. I am honored and thankful to become a Sand Lake Stingray.
Michelle Soldano is the new assistant principal at Columbia Elementary.
Hello, I'm so excited for this new opportunity at Columbia Elementary as the assistant principal. I would like to thank Dr. Fritzler and Mr. Leslie for this wonderful opportunity. I would love to thank my mentors, my previous administration, such as Ann Leinall and Missy Foranoci, and I've had some wonderful administrators along the way, so thank you so much. Marie Santana for being my mentor since I started 21 years ago, and Carla Wetzel. Thank you for all my best friends that showed up today. It means the world to me. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. I want to thank my wonderful husband, Frank, my two boys, Tyler and Brady, my mother-in-law, and my dad, and my mom up in heaven, who passed this past October. I know she's watching over me. And last but not least, I want to thank my Cypress Springs family. I was there for 20 years, and I wouldn't be the person I was today without them. Thank you.
Wesley Thomas is the new assistant principal at Ocoee Elementary.
Good evening. Thank you very much. I am new to OCPS, coming from Lake County, so I'm excited to be here. Thank you. It's been a warm welcome so far. I would like to thank my former principal, Susan Jordan, and before that, Marlene Strawn, whose leadership and friendship have impacted my life and leadership greatly. I'd also like to thank my new principal, Ms. Candace Gaucher, and my principal leader, Ms. Mindy Smith, for your faith in me. I look forward to working hard and serving the families and students of Ocoee Elementary.
And last but certainly not least, we have Janine Williams-Wilson, who's going to be the new assistant principal at Endeavor Elementary.
Thank you, Board. I want to thank God for guiding me to this school district, my husband, Carrie, who is in the overflow room with my kids, for supporting me every step of the way. Both my parents, Tony and Kathy, watching online, for inspiring me to be an educator with their many years of service and dedication to this profession. My 5 beautiful children, Tyler, Bryce, Ashaya, Michaela, and Kason. My brother, Joe, who's waiting for me to finish here to celebrate his birthday. The rest of my family for believing in me, and my friends for cheering me on. I'm so thankful for all the leaders who have molded me throughout my career into who I am today. To conclude, I want to thank Dr. Armbruster and my new leader, Mr. Nappins, and the whole Endeavor family. I'm honored to now be an Endeavor navigator, and I can't wait for tomorrow morning to start my career.
Is that all?
Well, I was thinking, do we want to try and take a picture?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Madam Chair, could you recess briefly so the video services people know?
So, you want to recess so that video services can do what?
Well, just so they know they can take. Okay.
It'll be okay.
Just trying to help her.
They need to turn off our mic.
Friday.
All right. Congratulations.
I loved it, man. That was good. That was good.
Yay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start in about 45 seconds. 45 seconds is a lot of time. Y'all get quiet so fast. All right, make it 30 seconds. I only shaved off 5 because that took 10. All right. All right. Now I've given the guys in the back the notice that we were going to start in 30 seconds, so now we got to wait a little bit because I can't start sooner. So just bear with us. Thank y'all. All right, welcome back, everyone. Let me begin with Dr. Vasquez. Question for you. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair. We have one change to the agenda. We are removing student with the initials SU from the matrix under the board agenda item 6.04. It will be brought back to the board at a later date.
All right, thank you very much. In light of those changes, is there a motion to amend the consent agenda as requested by the superintendent? Motion by the vice chair. Is there a second?
Second.
By member Salamanca. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. In order to provide governmental transparency as well as reasonable opportunities for the public to access and participate in the decision-making process, there are several methods by which the public can provide comment to the board on agenda items. Those include coming to speak to the board in person and via email in advance of the meetings. These methods are all published on the district's website and in BoardDocs. We did not receive any comments regarding the agenda via email. Do we have any members of the public that wish to make comments on the agenda?
We do not. You did not receive any yellow cards.
All right, thank you. In that case, we can move on to a vote on the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion by member Castor-Dental. Is there a second? Second by member Byrd. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We have no public hearings, so that brings us to the non-agenda to public comment period. One thing I want to speak to, I think many of you that are here to speak hopefully know that the board on May 16th decided that they wanted to pilot a different way of taking public comments, and that's why we're doing this somewhat differently. For those of you who have come to make public comments on non-agenda items before, you know that you would have come at 4 o'clock rather than now. There has been some interest in having that time a little later so that there was more opportunity for people to be here. And so we are piloting this for 9 weeks, which will end on October 13th, 2023. And one of the things I always talk about is the need for us to not applause, no outpouring of, sounds, booing, hissing, positive or negative, during this period of time, because we want to make sure that we're respectful to our speakers. And I realized that because we had 3 speakers earlier who were representing 2 unions and 1 other organization, and there was a lot of clapping, and it's the first time we've done that, and in retrospect, I probably should not have allowed that clapping during that part of the meeting. It was a little difficult, I will share with the board, it was a little difficult because up until now, the whole meeting has been a big celebration. So it's a little hard to say in the middle of the celebration, okay, stop celebrating. But I have to tell you now that you can celebrate, but not loudly. So if you are in agreement with something that somebody says, what I have found works, since I don't want you to clap or cheer, is if you'll give a thumbs up, and that gives us as board members an indication of your support. And if you really oppose something that somebody says and feel that you need to share that, you can give a thumbs down. And that way, again, I look out, it helps me to have a sense of where the room is on the different issues that might come up. There are a couple of things. I know we have public speakers. Let me ask you, how many do we have right now?
So I have 20 actual physical cards, but it's my understanding that one has withdrawn and another individual has left. So you have 18 total speakers.
All right, so we have 18 speakers. The rules that the draft rules, the temporary rules that we agreed to, was that if there were 10 speakers, everyone would have 3 minutes. If there were 15 speakers, everyone would have 2 minutes. And if there were 16 or more, everyone would have 1 minute. However, we have 18, and if we give everybody 1 minute, that's 18 minutes. And we have set aside up to 45 minutes. So although we have communicated that, if the board is in agreement, we could allow everyone who's here to speak for 2 minutes, and we'll still be within our timeline. So is everyone good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. 1 minute, I know, is not a lot of time to get your message across. So we'll do 2 minutes. And I do have a couple of things I need to go over, some guidelines that we always ask that our speakers adhere to. And one is our Code of Civility. And one of the things that means is that we ask that you not use the names of individuals or positions. For instance, if you're not happy with something that has happened at the school district, please do not share that individual's name in this forum out of respect for our employees and them not having an opportunity to respond. And second, public comments on subject matters that's quasi-judicial or pending litigation. I don't think anybody's here on any of those, but they're not supposed to be presented in this forum. And if you're bidding on any contracts with OCPS, we have a blackout period. Again, I don't think that's the case here, but we do have a period where you're not supposed to engage with the board. The other has to do with bargaining, and I'm going to turn to Ms. Emval right now because I think it's important to understand why we can't talk about bargaining issues in this forum. So, Ms. Emval, let me turn to you to explain that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We do have a number of speakers who have signed up for the non-agenda public comment period who indicated they want to speak to bus routes or transportation. Under Board Policy BEDH and the pilot program that we're doing as well, specifically as it pertains to this particular period, public comment on the bargaining process or other workplace labor concerns, they're not permitted. There is a bargaining process and a system in place in which bargained issues and labor complaints may be brought to the table between the parties. In addition, Section 447.309, subsection 1 Florida statutes, it directs a public employer to bargain collectively with a certified bargaining agent chosen by its employees regarding wages, hours, and terms and conditions of employment. So the policy language ensures that the board does not undermine the union's relationship with the members of the bargaining unit. And the board has chosen by policy to ensure that all topics which should be raised at the bargaining table are in fact raised with the union as the exclusive bargaining agent for all employees in the bargaining unit, and rather than through the public comment opportunity, what we're now calling the non-agenda public comment period. The board has done so to eliminate the possibility of any changes of unfair labor practices for direct dealing. And so with respect to the upcoming request to speak to bus routes or transportation, those are matters that are for effects bargaining, and it's my understanding that a meeting to discuss the district's decision regarding bus routes and transportations has already been noticed to occur on August 1st at 10 a.m. And so accordingly, any comments that from members of the union who wish to discuss those types of topics, the bus routes or the transportation, they have to go through your bargaining agent, which is OSPA, and particularly Mr. Pollard. So I just want to make sure that you're aware of those provisions and the reasoning why. It's not that the board does not want to hear from you, it's that we have to respect that bargaining process, and that's what Mr. Pollard is going to do for you all on August 1st.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Emval. And finally, the public comment period is an opportunity for you to provide input and comments to the board. It's not a question and answer period. It's not a debate forum. It's just an opportunity so that we can hear from you. So with that, do we have our first speaker?
You do.
I'm a bus mechanic for Orange County Public School. I've been working here since 2018.
Is your boss here?
Yes, sir.
And it's parked right over there.
I inspect the bus, I find what's wrong with it, and then I'll go fix it. And say if a bus breaks down, somebody will say, Peter, we got a roadkill. So it's like, go get it up and running. So this is everything you're going to check. So batteries, coolant, belts, every emergency exit. Make sure the buzzer turns on. Once we bring it up, I'm gonna put the chocks, I'm gonna chock the wheels, make sure everything is securely mounted. Sometimes there's frogs in there, so that's the thing. I don't mess with that, man. I don't mess with that. So right now what I'm doing, I'm checking the brake chambers, making sure everything is securely mounted. I'm showing up to work because the people. I come to work, it's not like I come to work, I gotta go to work, I gotta go to work. It's like I don't feel pressure. I don't feel pressure, it just feels like you can come, this is one big happy family. This is the start of everybody's life, it's here. You don't know who's walking in the bus. You don't know it's the next lawyer, you know, superintendent, it could be anybody. You don't know who you're carrying. This is the future, so I just try to do my part, come in, have a good time.
In the first year as the new superintendent of Orange County Public Schools, Dr. Maria Vasquez introduced an initiative called Reimagining Our Schools, an effort that is expanding and deepening students' knowledge of innovative pathways to success, such as career and technical education programs. At University High School, this initiative has quite literally turned a pipeline into a career.
This is a wastewater management, the class, where we essentially learn about wastewater and how to treat within a plant.
This is the H2O Pipeline Program, an initiative between Orange County Utilities, OCPS, and the Florida section of the American Water Works Association. It's designed to give students a direct path from high school into the water and wastewater industry.
Right now, as far as the industry is concerned with water and wastewater treatment operators, is that there's a severe deficit. We have a lot more people that are retiring that are entering the workforce. And think about the last time you didn't use water one day, or one day you didn't flush the toilet.
In the program's inaugural year, 10 students passed the rigorous California State University Sacramento exam, which makes them eligible to sit for Florida's wastewater Class C exam.
So these are really essential positions that need to get filled. So we're trying to find other avenues to get them, and it just made sense to try to maybe capture students that maybe didn't know exactly what they wanted to do, that they can get into a career that's stable.
All the students who applied to Orange County Utilities were also accepted into an apprenticeship program, which will help them earn the more than 2,000 hours of industry experience they'll need for their license.
Yes, for me it's very important because now they know about what is wastewater. If they started to work with us, they already know what we're talking about.
It's really important to have opportunities like this because some people don't know what they want to do, and to experience something like this, maybe it can show them like something they've never seen before and create that interest for them.
Today we are excited to see Lego education happening in the STEM lab here at Andover Elementary School. So we're going to see how students are utilizing our Spike Essentials set.
There we go.
We have been able to distribute over 10,000 kits to all of our K-5 schools, to our K-5 students to use in the classroom.
And this could just be in the back for like satellite stuff. Yeah. I really love Legos because I feel like every time I get home from school and I do my homework, I sit down and play with my Ninjago sets and create stories with them.
It is incredibly important to provide students with hands-on learning opportunities that support their standards, things that they're teaching in math and science and literacy. So providing them with unique opportunities to engage with hands-on learning experiences in a really fun and engaging way, utilizing our Lego education sets.
It's important for these students to learn in different ways because learning should be fun and engaging. It builds interest and it builds their intellect.
I try to keep trying and I know sometimes it won't work, but I'll find a different way that it will work.
It also allows them to be exposed to a lot of things that they maybe wouldn't have come across.
I know coding is like everything, like my mind codes, everything around me. I didn't know that codes. So I'm doing coding myself, even though I don't even know it.
These bricks are a medium to communicate ideas, to think critically, to think creatively, and to really just give them a fun experience that is also academically challenging, but yet fun.
I feel like different jobs I never knew are opening up to Lego now. It just inspires me because every time I watch these people build, I feel like I can do the same too.
This is the Central Florida Homeless Education Summit. It's a chance for educators from Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties to come together and learn about the resources available to help the homeless. And in Central Florida, that is something teachers face every day.
If you have a child in school, you have a child that is going to school with someone who is experiencing homelessness.
In Orange County, there are more than 8,000 homeless students. This summit was a way to break down what's out there to give them a hand.
A lot of people don't know all the resources, and they're changing all the time. We consistently get new grants from the federal government as well as private donors.
It was also a chance to learn about how the law has changed. There's something called the McKinney-Vento Act, which defines homelessness as including living in hotels or cars or having inadequate housing. And students who fall under that definition have opportunities.
It made me realize that it was okay to just ask for help. Even though I'm in this situation, it's not something that I have to be ashamed of.
We have a new law that was passed, House Bill 1577, that allows our high school seniors to take the letter that they receive under the McKinney-Vento definition and then actually bring that to their post-secondary institution to receive full tuition, and it's an exemption.
For Becky Watson, principal at East River High School, this effort is not only informative, it's personal.
I was a student who my entire elementary school career lived in a tent in Orange County, and so now my whole life is dedicated to giving back to families and students who need from the school. Education is the lever that helped me change my life.
We will rock you. I'm getting ready for us to use our drumsticks. We're gonna sing really loud so everyone can hear us, and I hope Grandma can reach us from the back. It's gonna be a blast.
1, 2, 3, go.
We wanted to have something for our boys to do, to learn a musical instrument, to learn to sing, to have that middle school experience, the arts. And so it originated, let's just see what we can do. And we put all of the boys together downstairs. And slowly but surely, this is the group that has prevailed, has enjoyed it, has come back every Tuesday and Thursday to participate.
The drumming lights is where all the boys can perform with our drumsticks, and then we sing "We Will Rock You" to it.
When you see them walk on that stage, you're like, all right, okay. When they start to playing, they wow.
It's like, man, these guys are doing really well. Oh man, these drumming lights are so creative. They just know how to work all together. They're really good teamworks.
Hopefully, parents and people will see, let's just not say they can't do it. Let's say, let's try. Maybe they need a little modification, but they can do it. And it's phenomenal. And there's tons of them that want to do this. This is a unified group. This is different than other groups we have here. So we've now taken our VIP students and put them with our peers on campus.
They teach me lessons as well as I teach them lessons. So it's almost like a back and forth thing. And so I love learning with them and seeing how they progress and progressively get better.
It's kindness from inside, it's inclusivity, it's we're all the same, and going forward, we all need to have the same experiences.
I guess we're just part of a Drumming Lights family.
I'm so proud of Drumming Lights.
It's like the biggest day for an 8th grader this year.
It's like middle school Super Bowl.
I think it's just a really great way to end the year with everybody together.
They are talking about the Gotha lip dub.
Are you ready? Yes. Okay.
And they aren't over-exaggerating.
We have worked on this since January, and it's hours and hours of work of planning the songs and figuring out how the songs should go together and picking out the lyrics and then figuring out which students are going to have those parts and conducting the auditions and working with the kids. What is your choreography going to be? Practicing every week.
So we planned like who got what parts, and we had to audition for those. And then we planned out like what we were going to wear before we did anything. And then we had to learn our songs and like try to lip sync them.
It is crazy, but it is incredible and one of the highlights of my career anytime I get to be a part of it.
See everyone in the school like dress up and participate in it and having fun. It's really like nice to see.
More than 100 hours of planning and preparing, all for this.
It's lift up day. Are you ready?
A music video that is one long shot involving the entire school.
When I see all of them together having fun and celebrating the school and being excited, and like that's what it's all about, right? Like happy kids.
Happy kids, thanks to the support of teachers and staff.
I think it shows that they care and they really want to make it like a great 8th grade year and make it like something memorable.
I look forward to it because like, I don't know, it's just like a big party on the whole campus and everyone's there. It's really fun.
One big party that sends an even bigger message.
Despite, all of our differences, that we can all come together and celebrate the school with this one event.
Have fun as an 8th grader, get your assignments done, but just be here to experience.
Being a first-year teacher can be a challenge, particularly if you're teaching in a high-needs school.
They're so new to this, and it can be so overwhelming for so many reasons. We want to make sure that they know that we've got their back.
And so, thanks to the nonprofit organization A Gift for Teaching and a grant from Walt Disney World, this is the new Teacher Launch Box to get teachers and students a boost.
They are going to have delivered to them a box with classroom sets of all kinds of core and essential supplies, art supplies, incentives, books, hygiene items.
Yes. Dry erase!
This delivery is for Evans High School, but 500 teachers in 52 of the most underserved schools in the district will be automatically enrolled in a quarterly supply box subscription. The box has everything a new teacher would need to turn an empty classroom into an inviting learning environment, and those school supplies for students who may not have what they need without teachers having to pay for it out of their own pocket.
My experience has been that my students come every day asking for pencils, simple thing like that. So I buy hundreds of them, but they go very fast. Same thing with sanitary wipes, stuff like that. Oftentimes kids need that. So having it provided immediately right there is one less thing I worry about, one more thing I can offer to them.
These are the tools teachers need to make the real magic happen.
They allow them to dream, they inspire them, they help them grow into all of the wonderful things that they can be, and they help build a foundation and a love for learning that will stay with them throughout their lives.
Here at Riverdale Elementary, art teacher Naomi Mantilla is about to get quite a surprise.
Ms. Mantilla considers all who are part of Riverdale as family and makes regular efforts to love and support all. That's why Ms. Mantilla is a hero teacher.
And then Associate Superintendent of Curriculum and Digital Learning, Rob Bixler, was off to Cypress Elementary, where 4th grade teacher Mary Negron was honored. This is all part of the OCPS Hero Teacher Project. Dr. Maria Vasquez and the Teaching and Learning Leadership Team created the concept to honor teachers in the district that embody the spirit of the profession.
You know, if you've ever gone to these visits with me, the certificates are unique. They're not standard. Every principal crafts that message unique to that teacher I'm speaking to.
It's a moment to put teachers in the spotlight and hear how they make a difference, like what these students had to say about Miss Montilla.
Sometimes, like, I lose motivation whenever I'm drawing, and she tells me to keep going. And like that's been able to push me through everything the past this year.
She's really nice, and then she always motivates us to do our art, and whenever we feel down, she was always like, you can feel better, and then I just love her.
And what these students wanted Miss Negron to know.
I really like the way how she teaches. She's a really compassionate teacher. And whenever someone needs help, she would always be there for someone. She's always there when you need her, and she's a helpful teacher.
And for Assistant Superintendent Bixler, it's become a highlight, a special delivery to show a teacher how much they really matter.
This is by far, over the last 5 years, my favorite thing to do. I think my team will tell you I sign up to do the most visits. It really does invigorate you. It reminds you of why you got into the profession, to see the great work of these teachers. It's my favorite thing.
Pickleball, the newest, hottest sport, is a game typically played by adults.
Originally, pickleball was an older person's game, your grandparents' game, but it is so much fun. It's competitive, it's social, it's everything that you want in a sport.
And so why not expand that sport to everyone? This is a clinic for OCPS elementary PE teachers. It's part of a partnership with the United States Tennis Association and USA Pickleball, or what could be considered lifetime activities.
We started to see younger players coming into it, and they developed so quickly. They enjoyed it, and I think it's important to pass things like this on to the next generation.
The idea is to expose teachers and students in the district to the activities they could enjoy for decades: archery, yoga, tennis. USTA even cites a recent study that indicates tennis players live 9.5 years longer than people who participate in other sports.
Well, I think it's important for students as well as adults to have a wide variety of activities to do, and tennis is one of several lifelong activities, so whether you're 4 years old or 94 years old, you can get out there and have an option to keep moving and be, just have a better quality of life.
So while pickleball may be considered an adult sport, that doesn't mean that today's students won't one day have a ball.
We try to show them everything that's out there. From pickleball, we do cricket, we do tennis, we do kind of everything. So there's a lot out there that they don't even know of.
Sorry to interrupt. I need Elijah.
What I do?
Good things, Nicholas.
I am here to announce, after careful consideration of more than 250 submitted additions, that your classmate, Kinsley Sproul, you, Caleb, have been selected. Abby has been chosen.
We are proud to announce that you are a finalist.
This guy right here just tapped his way into Top Talent Live 2023. Top Talent finalist.
Top Talent Live 2023.
Top Talent Live 2023.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Abby. Thank you.
So let's give him a big shout.
Yay!
Congratulations. I have a finalist button for you.
You are all finalists in Top Talent Live 2023.
Congratulations, Elijah.
Top Talent Live 2023.
We're gonna be in Top Talent.
To hiring teachers and keeping teachers, it is a constant challenge, and that's exactly what the Teacher Quality Partnership Project is designed to address.
The goal of the grant is to recruit
prepare and retain teachers to work in our Title I schools to support diverse learners.
Through a grant from the U.S. Department of Education, UCF students who are getting their teaching degree intern in classrooms. And when they graduate, they will have a job at an OCPS school.
So we get to know them, they get to know us, and once again, they're with us the junior and their senior year.
And the program has been a huge success in the number of students signing up to become interns.
So some schools have 3 interns, some have 4. In fact, we have a 200% increase in the number of interns that are now asking and requesting to work at our most struggling schools.
For students like Robin Law, this was a chance to get to know whether teaching was what she wanted to do. It was. And for her, to be a teacher in a Title I school is a special opportunity.
To teach with Title I students, it's hard for sure. You got to put in work to do it, but it's like, what will our future be if we don't do that?
And Robin can't wait to make a difference.
What will their futures be if we don't put in the work to make them get to where they need to be, to become the learners, the educators, or the school board members that they want to be? Who would I be to take that away from them instead of putting myself in a position to give that to them?
Of who I am is serving others. As a person who had humble beginnings, I have a heart for people.
Mr. Kalunga! I like them J's, man.
One of the main reasons why I love working at inner city schools, Title I schools, because I know that if I can get in to make that connection, make that engagement with that student, that female, or that young lady, or that young man, I'm able to connect with them, get them on the path toward a path that's more encouraging, inviting, that keeps him on path toward graduation.
I feel like he's the same person in and out the school. He cares for people. He is kind. He's well known for his actions.
I relate with him. Hey, you don't have your father, I didn't have my father either. You lived in a foster home, I lived in a foster home as well. You were raised by non-traditional parents, I was raised by non-traditional parents as well. So making that connection, once they make that connection, they sit up and be like, wow, somebody that's just like me.
He's been in my shoes before, and I feel like I know what and I feel like he knows what it's like. I'm hoping I can be a successful human being one day, and I'm hoping I can make Mr. Miller proud.
How you doing? All right.
And 1, 2, 3.
This isn't an everyday thing in most schools, but it's an amazing opportunity, and I think that's our job, right, to provide those. So.
It's really hard to explain, but it's like you get this rush of excitement and happiness when you're just playing with the whole ensemble and performing to other people. It's a really good feeling playing with other friends.
What are steel drums?
These are literally made out, like these specific pans, and every pan is made literally out of like a big oil drum.
It's just a big pan and you hit the certain dents. That's pretty much it. It's not much.
The coolest thing about this too, that I think they don't get an opportunity a lot in other ensembles that we provide, is the variety of music. Hey, come on Jaden, let's get him out there. Come on.
Once I just start playing and we're playing a really good song and I'm into it, my body just starts moving. It does this whole thing, I can't control it.
Even the musician is the challenge, because again, we don't play this instrument. It's usually not our first instrument. You know, kids start on a violin, or they start on piano, or they might start on a band instrument in 6th grade. And 1, 2, 3. It's a cool way to start the day, you know, it's kind of neat.
If I'm having a rough morning, once I start playing, it's all gone. I don't think about nothing but my instrument, and my mind goes blank.
Hey Cooper, good morning, have a wonderful day. Don't give up.
Don't ever give up. You got a really long list.
I can't tie shoes really fast.
It's okay. I know what it's like to come home and nobody's there and have to make your own food to get yourself up, get dressed, get to school. And I know what it's like to feel like you don't belong. And I didn't want that to continue. If I can make my classroom where you matter and then make a school where you matter, then that's what I want to do. Aloha, Miss Taylor. Come, it's time to get a fruity beverage.
He is a really good principal, and he is super nice. Even though he never really smiles, he actually is really nice.
Amazing. Have a wonderful day.
And we all love him. Like, he works really hard.
I want to make your day better. I want to make the kids' day better. I want them to walk away from this place with however long they're here with a sense of there is possibility. People do care.
It makes me feel very welcome and feel like I belong here.
I had so much fun reading my book with y'all. I will hopefully get invited back and I'll come read to you again, okay?
Did you like that?
All right, have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
A prefix is a word added in front of another word to create a brand new word. There's always a path for people, and I felt like this was always the path to begin with. The star is super, it's great. I never thought of doing anything else. Even when they ask you when you're little, like, well, what do you want to be when you get older? I always said teacher. There was never a second option.
He has a lot of patience, and he's very kind too.
Bye! It lit more of a fire to go back and pursue an education degree because I knew that I could do it. Kids need people that they can trust and be around, and I feel like I fill that gap in a lot of places.
The kindness affects it because, like, if he was like rude and stuff, then we would want to give up and we wouldn't want to be here. So everybody would just leave. But the reason, like, he has patience with everybody, so everybody wants to keep going and they don't want to give up.
All right, good job, everybody. Good job, good job. Have a great day.
Here at Village Park, we call ourselves magic makers because we make magic in every classroom, no matter where you are.
I do it learn, no matter what. The math on my mind, I can never get enough.
It's just all personality and building those relationships so that I can get the buy-in from them and move forward.
I love how he's so enthusiastic. He's always like whenever we're having a bad day, he'll give us a brain break and then we'll resume the lesson. He's also very hardworking.
I had educators that never gave up on me, and which they inspired my why, which is not yet, the power of yet. If students don't speak English, I always say yet, or I don't understand this, yet.
His famous motto is excellence is the only option. We're always getting pushed so much because he loves us.
We don't say we're smart in this class because if we say we're smart, we're going to get that mindset of, well, I can't get anything wrong. We say that we're hard workers and we build on that. So mistakes allow thinking to happen, makes us learn more, and if we fail, that's fine because we'll pick up, try again, and we excel, which is where we get the excellence part. Can we do a silent clap? That was perfect. My parents have worked super hard. Just seeing them happy and knowing, wow, you were chosen, makes me feel like I've made them proud, and I can only keep hoping for the best from here. Beautiful job.
I love my job. I tell everybody I have the best job in the whole entire world. I get to create reading magic with every child in the school. Ping! Oh, hey, I just grew. After we do the story, and then we're gonna do a little hands-on activity where we create our own little grass person.
Yours is the sassiest.
I like that.
I'm the funniest.
You're the funniest.
The library, I like to say, is the heart of every school. It's where everything's happening. It's where teachers meet. It's where you have Read to Succeed. It's where you have mentors come in. It truly is the heart. Everybody always comes back to the library. So to be able to create a space where kids can play explore, and most importantly, read books and make connections. There you go. You're very welcome. It's the most important place on campus.
I'd say that it's really kind and a very open space for everybody to like really express themselves, and you have free access to books, and it's really nice and calming in here.
There's nothing like seeing a kid love a book for the first time and come back and go, what's something else like this? Or realize, hey, maybe I could be a writer one day.
She's opened us a lot of things that we've never been able to do if it wasn't for her. Bam, I'm at school, 1 second, I go to the library, I have all this open space to all these books, I can get this, I can get that, and it's all for free. Like, she's done so much for us.
I would love for people to know that it's more than just checking out books. It's being able to identify what your students want to read. It's making relationships with each and every kid on campus so that you can figure out what it is they want to read. Because once a kid makes that connection, once a kid feels confident in what they're reading, you have created a lifelong learner.
At Cypress Creek High School, Chris Canone is what's called a CTE career specialist.
One big part of my job is building programs such as entrepreneurship, digital design, agriculture. But my other parts are recruiting for dual enrollment, where we send kids to the tech colleges for dual enrollment.
That is his job, but his passion is helping students find a career path that inspires them.
My desire and my passion is more mentoring and helping kids see the difference on what else is out there.
Funny enough, Chris is so passionate about helping students find their way because he says he didn't have much of a choice choosing his own career when he was growing up.
It took my wife, before we got married, to kind of get in my face and be like, what's your passion? What's your desire? What do you want to do? You're not happy doing what you're doing. And it took her to push me to be like, I want to mentor kids.
And Chris's lessons on seizing success have already paid off for many students, like Martin Molina, who as a senior has already developed his own apparel line and is selling it.
I thought it was a simple boom t-shirt design. Throw a little, whatever's trending, throw it on a t-shirt and you'll make some money. So I thought it was just easy money at first. And then little did I know I had a passion for it.
And in that passion, Martin started to put inspirational messages on his apparel. Ironic that it was one inspiring another who now inspires many.
I always say to my students when I'm recruiting, you got to do what you love in order to be happy. If you don't love what you're doing, it's going to be a struggle.
I guess just helping out others just always did it for me, you know. So that just, I guess this is a personal thing, but helping them out was just my gateway to feeling better about myself.
From University High School.
Started here singing a solo.
To a top 4 finalist on The Voice.
Ended up on national television singing for 8 million people a night.
Omar Jose Cardona has achieved the dream.
Omar makes it real. Omar shows that it can be done coming from our OCPS schools.
But the 07 Cougar graduate hasn't forgotten where it all started.
This is where I learned the love of the arts. This is where I fell in love with performing. This is where I decided to take the career path that I did.
As Omar walks through the doors of his high school auditorium, the memories unfold.
I remember sitting in the audience watching my brother do Les Miserables, and I wasn't even in high school yet, and I was like, this is so amazing. I remember I was in tears, like this is where, you know, my whole life started, was right here on this stage.
With every flashback, there is a heart full of gratitude.
I'm grateful for the people that I met here, my friends that I met here, the teachers, you know, the staff, and because it's, you know, I'm a product of who I was surrounded by.
University helped him build a strong foundation, so now he can share a powerful message with the world.
He is sending a message to believe in your dreams. Equally, it's hard work. This did not happen overnight. He has been successfully worked here and around the world. And the cool thing is, on The Voice, it just became a bigger audience.
Behold, the Math Olympics. 14 schools from across Orange County competing against each other to become district champions.
And what they're doing is they're competing against each other with various puzzles, various mathematics equations.
Teams are made up of elementary school students with at least 1/3 and 4th grader on each team. Students compete against each other in 3 rounds of competition. And even though it's about solving equations, it's also about building confidence.
When we bring them to a competition, we find that they actually thrive in the mathematics world. And so fostering a math competition helps to promote those that feeling of I can do this.
For Ivy Lane 5th grader Caden Walker, the first problem to solve was overcoming her own fear, and it was her team who encouraged her not to quit.
And my team tried to help me. They was like, you got this, you're smart, you're here for a reason, you were picked for a reason.
And it turns out math for her was exactly the solution to her problem, because being on a math team in this level of competition and with that kind of encouragement allowed her to find the confidence she needed.
Me, I like winning. So the purpose for me is I come here, I do what I'm supposed to do. 3rd place, no. 2nd place, 1st place, we won. My plan is if we win 1st or 2nd place, I'm going to walk into that school when we go back, and I'm going to say, who are we? Ivy Lane Knights Math Masters, because that's what we are. We are Ivy Lane Knights Math Masters, so we have to act like it.
It's not every day that Walt Disney World drops by your school, and it's not every day that they bring with them a $25,000 surprise.
So today we are here at Wekiva High School to surprise the students and the faculty with a $25,000 donation worth of instruments for band, for orchestra, choral music, and other equipment so that they can continue to make music in their school.
And teachers and students had no idea until the curtain opened and there on stage was Mickey Mouse and all the new instruments.
I looked back to find my teacher and to see his reaction. I was like, jaw dropped, shocked. Like, that's a lot of money.
We do not often find ourselves speechless, and we are completely speechless by the generosity of Disney and for OCPS coming together to celebrate this.
The power of the donation, though, is that these students will not only get to make music here at Wekiva High with brand new instruments, but that they can focus on that music.
That's less fundraising that we have to do, that we can focus on our students. That's, it's more opportunities to, give them different kinds of music, better quality instruments, really represent ourselves out in the community in the way that these students really deserve.
And for Disney, music has always been a key part of their storytelling, and this story is all about fine-tuning the next generation.
Music and education specifically we recognize that transformative power that it has, and that these are the youth of our future, these are our future leaders, and we want to make sure we invest in that.
Snack Shack Fridays. So we run a business where the students in our VIP program get to come work 3 lunches and serve snacks to teachers.
Thank you. Have a great day.
So there's the initial shift of the morning is prepping and getting it ready for the day, filling up ice, filling up sodas.
I carried 3 at a time.
Making sure that we have inventory for the day, then stocking shelves, and then making sure our bags are prepped for our VIP Eats, which are our delivery service.
$2? Yes. Here's $2, and then here's a tip.
Oh, this.
And then there's a tip.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This came out of how do we teach those skills? They don't want to learn money in a book anymore. They've been learning money in a book since elementary school. How do you make that functional?
$5.
You guys have changed?
Yep.
Beautiful.
All right.
The coolest part about it is you get these students where they're like, oh no, you hear, oh no, that's going to be too hard, or that they can't do that. And then on Fridays, you watch them do it.
Hello? What have we learned about?
Customer service. And then
How should have
a job. We take turns. It's so much fun for me.
We are unique because we have an actual course code, an elective that is assigned to me, and their peers as partners in learning. So they take my class, and my class is them helping our students in our VIP program.
$1.
So 1
Add that together?
$2.
$2.
I've learned communication, I've learned patience, leadership, how to step to the plate, and I love it.
There is no nose, there is no wall. This is us. We're part of your community. We all put our pants on the same way. We all come to school the same amount of time. We all have to sit in classrooms and learn. We're the same. Does it look different? Possibly, but we're the same. And that's what makes this inclusion so awesome.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Come back, come on, snacks, Dad.
I will.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Pierre and I'm a senior at East River High School. Some of the school activities that I'm part of is National Honor Society. I'm also part of Key Club. I'm also part of the robotics team here at East River. I'm also part of the math team. I have nearly over 500 community service hours. Through American Red Cross, I also got those volunteer hours. I also help tutor at Columbia Elementary, Castle Creek Elementary, and various other elementary and middle schools. Growing up, I faced many obstacles in my life, from homelessness, being put in foster care system in the 9th grade, moving from left to right, house to house, and even sleeping at the park sometimes, and homeless shelter. I had to face all these obstacles, but I overcame them, and here I am. I always tell myself, I gotta do it. It's not that I want to do it, I gotta do it. I gotta do it not only for myself, I have my family depending on it. I'm the first one to go ahead and attend a university, and I'm the first one in my family to even receive a Fulbright scholarship. I'm attending Columbia University. I want to go ahead and pursue a career in aerospace engineering, and then I want to come back and help my family and put them in a position of no worries, and also help foster a community where I can help other students and other kids that's going through the same thing that I went through, and help shape their future and make them to go on a path that is easier than the path that I went on. My guidance counselor, Ms. 3, she has done the utmost everything for me. She's not only my guidance counselor, but I look up to her as a mentor. Now she's, academically and everything, but she's on a personal level, she has helped me a lot. I live by a quote, I will persist until I succeed. So I want to just share that with you guys. Just persist, be determined, be goal-oriented, and just work hard and put in the time and effort, and then your dreams will always come true.
Hi, I'm Victoria Dixon and I'm a senior at Evans High School. I've been in Ivy since my 9th grade year. Not only is it going to help me with college, it helped me define and be able to succeed in my high school years. It taught me to not ever slack on work, because once you slack, it's going to take forever to come back. Mr. Daly is one of those teachers that you can hear him down the hall when he's coming. He's just been very impactful of just reminding me to just remain strong and to push and do the goals that I have planned for myself, because I'm able to succeed and I will succeed. I have another teacher, Ms. Quadros. She's my Spanish teacher. I've had her for 3 years. Seeing how hard she goes for her students day in and day out has just really been a blessing. So the tragedy that I had to face was September 11, 2020. I lost my 1-year-old brother. He was left in the car by his caregiver for over 7 hours. I was very hurt that day, but I just heard the Lord say that He was going to turn my pain into purpose. And with Love Like Jace, our purpose is to advocate for the little ones, for safety with water, with car safety, and just for parents to understand that these are little ones that are depending on us. My biggest advice is take it one day at a time. Understand that you don't have to rush to have everything right there at your foot, but know that if it's meant for you, it will be there for you.
My name is Carlos Andrade, and I am currently a senior in Freedom High School. In a few months, I will be heading off to FIU to study to be a recreational therapist. When I was younger, I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. What I'm mostly happy about is how my family has supported me through all of this and taught me to never give up and reach for my goals. My mom introduced me to Lego jewelry. At first, I was a little skeptical, but once I got into it, I realized how much I enjoyed it. I realized how far I can go with this. And when I'm selling it, it gives me a chance to practice a little, like how to talk to people, like how to make eye contact, how to respond with what they're saying. I went to the Miami Kid Art Basel, where I got to sell some of my Lego jewelry and meet many artists alike. I was actually a keynote speaker where I got to explain to the many people there what autism is and what it means to them. I'm showing people to not let labels define them. I truly only have this advice to give them. Don't be afraid to express yourself. You are a beautiful and unique person who is capable of so many things.
Hi, my name is Peter Florio. I'm a bus mechanic for Orange County Public School. I've been working here since 2018.
Is the bus here?
Yes, sir.
And it's parked right over there.
I inspect the bus, I find what's wrong with it, and then I'll go fix it. And say if a bus breaks down, somebody will say, Peter, we got a roadkill. So it's like, go get it up and running. So this is everything you're going to check. So batteries, coolant, belts, every emergency exit. Make sure the buzzer turns on. Once we bring it up, I'm gonna put the chocks, I'm gonna chalk the wheels, make sure everything is securely mounted. Sometimes there's frogs in there, so that's the thing. I don't mess with that, man. I don't mess with that. So right now what I'm doing, I'm checking the brake chambers, making sure everything is securely mounted. I'm showing up to work because the people. I come to work, it's not like I come to work, I gotta go to work, It's like I don't feel pressure. I don't feel pressure, it just feels like you can come, this is one big happy family. This is the start of everybody's life, it's here. You don't know who's walking in the bus. You don't know who's the next lawyer, you know, superintendent, it could be anybody. You don't know who you're carrying. This is the future, so I just try to do my part, come in, have a good time.
In the first year as the new superintendent of Orange County Public Schools, Dr. Maria Vasquez introduced an initiative called Reimagining Our Schools, an effort that is expanding and deepening students' knowledge of innovative pathways to success, such as career and technical education programs. At University High School, this initiative has quite literally turned a pipeline into a career.
This is a wastewater management, the class, where we essentially learn about wastewater and how to treat within a plant.
This is the H2O Pipeline Program, an initiative between Orange County Utilities, OCPS, and the Florida section of the American Water Works Association. It's designed to give students a direct path from high school into the water and wastewater industry.
Right now, as far as the industry is concerned with water and wastewater treatment operators, is that there's a severe deficit. We have a lot more people that are retiring, that are entering the workforce. And think about the last time you didn't use water one day, or one day you didn't flush the toilet.
In the program's inaugural year, 10 students passed the rigorous California State University Sacramento exam, which makes them eligible to sit for Florida's wastewater Class C exam.
So these are really essential positions that need to get filled. So we're trying to find other avenues to get them, and it just made sense to try to maybe capture students that maybe didn't know exactly what they wanted to do, that they can get into a career that's stable.
All the students who applied to Orange County Utilities were also accepted into an apprenticeship program, which will help them earn the more than 2,000 hours of industry experience they'll need for their license.
Yes, for me it's very important because now they know about what is wastewater. If they started to work with us, they already know what we're talking about.
It's really important to have opportunities like this because some people don't know what they want to do, and to experience something like this, maybe it can show them like something they've never seen before and create that interest for them.
Today we are excited to see Lego education happening in the STEM lab here at Andover Elementary School. So we're going to see how students are utilizing our Spike Essentials set.
There we go.
We have been able to distribute over 10,000 kits to all of our K-5 schools, to our K-5 students to use in the classroom.
And this could just be in the back for like satellite stuff.
Yeah. I really love Legos because I feel like every time I get home from school and I do my homework, I sit down and play with my Ninjago sets and create stories with them.
It is incredibly important to provide students with hands-on learning opportunities that support their standards, things that they're teaching in math and science and literacy. So providing them with unique opportunities to engage with hands-on learning experiences in a really fun and engaging way, utilizing our Lego education sets.
It's important for these students to learn in different ways because learning should be fun and engaging. It builds interest and it builds their intellect.
I try to keep trying, and I know sometimes it won't work, but I'll find a different way that it will work.
It also allows them to be exposed to a lot of things that they maybe wouldn't have come across.
I know coding is like everything, like my mind codes, everything around me. I didn't know that codes. So I'm doing coding myself, even though I don't even know it.
These bricks are a medium to communicate ideas, to think critically, to think creatively, and to really just give them a fun experience that is also academically challenging, but yet fun.
I feel like different jobs that I never knew are opening up to Lego now. It just inspires me because every time I watch these people build, I feel like I can do the same too.
This is the Central Florida Homeless Education Summit. It's a chance for educators from Orange, Osceola, and Seminole counties to come together and learn about the resources available to help the homeless. And in Central Florida, that is something teachers face every day.
If you have a child in school, you have a child that is going to school with someone who is experiencing homelessness.
In Orange County, there are more than 8,000 homeless students. This summit was a way to break down what's out there to give them a hand.
A lot of people don't know all the resources, and they're changing all the time. We consistently get new grants from the federal government as well as private donors.
It was also a chance to learn about how the law has changed. There's something called the McKinney-Vento Act, which defines homelessness as including living in hotels or cars or having inadequate housing. And students who fall under that definition have opportunities.
It made me realize that it was okay to just ask for help. Even though I'm in this situation, it's not something that I have to be ashamed of.
We have a new law that was passed, House Bill 1577, that allows our high school seniors to take the letter that they receive under the McKinney-Vento definition and then actually bring that to their post-secondary institution to receive full tuition, and it's an exemption.
For Becky Watson, principal at East River High School, this effort is not only informative, it's personal.
I was a student who my entire elementary school career lived in a tent in Orange County, and so now my whole life is dedicated to giving back to families and students who need from the school. Education is the lever that helped me change my life.
We will rock you. I'm getting ready for us to use our drumsticks. We're gonna sing really loud so everyone can hear us, and I hope Grandma can reach us from the back. It's gonna be a blast.
1, 2, 3, go.
We wanted to have something for our boys to do, to learn a musical instrument, to learn to sing, to have that middle school experience, the arts. And so it originated, let's just see what we can do. And we put all of the boys together downstairs. And slowly but surely, this is the group that has prevailed, has enjoyed it, has come back every Tuesday and Thursday to participate.
The drumming lads is where all the boys can perform with our drumsticks, and then we sing "We Will Rock You" to it.
When you see them walk on that stage, you're like, all right, okay. When they start to playing, they wow.
It's like, man, these guys are doing really well. Oh man, these drumming lads are so creative. Like, they just know how to work all together. They're really good teamworks.
Hopefully, parents and people will see, let's just not say they can't do it. Let's say, let's try. Maybe they need a little modification, but they can do it. And it's phenomenal. And there's tons of them that want to do this. This is a unified group. This is different than other groups we have here. So we've now taken our VIP students and put them with our peers on campus.
They teach me lessons as well as I teach them lessons. So it's almost like a back and forth thing. And so like, I love learning with them and seeing how they progress and progressively get better.
It's kindness from inside, it's inclusivity, it's we're all the same, and going forward, we all need to have the same experiences.
I guess we're just like part of a drumming lads family.
I'm so proud of drumming lads.
It's like the biggest day for an 8th grader this year.
It's like middle school Super Bowl. I think it's just a really great way to end the year with everybody together.
They are talking about the Gotha lip dub.
Are you ready? Yes. Okay.
And they aren't over-exaggerating.
We have worked on this since January, and it's hours and hours of work of planning the songs and figuring out how the songs should go together and picking out the lyrics and then figuring out which students are going to have those parts and conducting the auditions and working with the kids. What is your choreography going to be? Practicing every week.
So we planned like who got what parts, and we had to audition for those. And then we planned out like what we were going to wear before we did anything. And then we had to learn our songs and like try to lip sync them.
It is crazy, but it is incredible and one of the highlights of my career anytime I get to be a part of it.
See everyone in the school like dress up and participate in it and having fun. It's really like nice to see.
More than 100 hours of planning and preparing, all for this.
It's lift up day. Are you ready?
A music video that is one long shot involving the entire school.
When I see all of them together having fun and celebrating the school and being excited, and like that's what it's all about, right? Like happy kids.
Happy kids, thanks to the support of teachers and staff.
I think it shows that they care and they really want to make it like a great 8th grade year and make it like something memorable.
I look forward to it because like, I don't know, it's just like a big party on the whole campus and everyone's there. It's really fun.
One big party that sends an even bigger message.
Despite, all of our differences, that we can all come together and celebrate the school with this one event.
Have fun as an 8th grader, get your assignments done, but just be here to experience.
Being a first-year teacher can be a challenge, particularly if you're teaching in a high-needs school.
They're so new to this, and it can be so overwhelming for so many reasons. We want to make sure that they know that we've got their back.
And so, thanks to the nonprofit organization A Gift for Teaching and a grant from Walt Disney World, this is the new Teacher Launch Box to get teachers and students a boost.
They are going to have delivered to them a box with classroom sets of all kinds of core and essential supplies, art supplies, incentives, books, hygiene items.
Yes. Dry erase!
This delivery is for Evans High School, but 500 teachers in 52 of the most underserved schools in the district will be automatically enrolled in a quarterly supply box subscription. The box has everything a new teacher would need to turn an empty classroom into an inviting learning environment, and those school supplies for students who may not have what they need without teachers having to pay for it out of their own pocket.
My experience has been that my students come every day asking for pencils, simple thing like that. So I buy hundreds of them, but they go very fast. Same thing with sanitary wipes, stuff like that. oftentimes kids need that. So having it provided immediately right there is one less thing I worry about, one more thing I can offer to them.
These are the tools teachers need to make the real magic happen.
They allow them to dream, they inspire them, they help them grow into all of the wonderful things that they can be, and they help build a foundation and a love for learning that will stay with them throughout their lives.
Here at Riverdale Elementary, art teacher Naomi Mantilla is about to get quite a surprise.
Ms. Mantilla considers all who are part of Riverdale as family and makes regular efforts to love and support all. That's why Ms. Mantilla is a hero teacher.
And then Associate Superintendent of Curriculum and Digital Learning, Rob Bixler, was off to Cypress Elementary, where 4th grade teacher Mary Negron was honored. This is all part of the OCPS Hero Teacher Project. Dr. Maria Vasquez and the Teaching and Learning Leadership Team created the concept to honor teachers in the district that embody the spirit of the profession.
You know, if you've ever gone to these visits with me, the certificates are unique.
1801, Dr. Vasquez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have several non-consent agenda items, all of them dealing with modification to charter contracts. Each of them will need to be approved individually. We do not have any public speakers nor public comments to these items. I am going to turn it over to Mr. Greg Moody for the first item, 18.01.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent, Madam Chair and board members. I'll present 1801 through 1805, and we'll do it individually. And I'll be as brief but thorough as possible. Aloma, first on is 1801. Aloma Charter High School was approved to operate as a charter school in 2008. The current contract has a 15-year term. The school is located at 495 North Cimarron Boulevard in Winter Park. The governing board for Aloma Charter High School has requested an amendment be made to their contract, which will reflect the inclusion of middle school students in grades 7 and 8 who have previously been retained. Pursuant to Statute 1002.33, this contract modification may be afforded to Aloma Charter High School with approval of the sponsor. If the request is granted, the school capacity will be increased by no more than 50 students. The term for the current contract will remain in effect for the 15-year term ending June 30th, 2028. Madam Chair?
All right, thank you. No public comment. Last call. With no public comment, any board comments? Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say I toured Aloma. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. It's still in my district because it's on the east side of Aloma. I did tour it. More importantly, this past May, Dr. Vasquez and I were at the graduation for all 5 schools. And they graduated 500 students. And I say this, is around 500, correct? I say this because these are 500 students that wouldn't have graduated without these schools. These were the children that had a really difficult time with credit recovery on the path that they were on. They probably wouldn't have graduated. They wouldn't have graduated because they didn't have the credits, and it would have taken them so long to graduate in our traditional school that they would have dropped out and they wouldn't be successful. And now we have 500 kids that are contributing to society, that are being added to a workforce, a skilled workforce. Some of them got their high school diploma, and they got some credentials with through the CTE program. But I just can't. These are kids that would not have graduated. And when I say 500, that's 500 kids we essentially saved, in my mind. So when we look at middle school, we're looking at those kids that, once again, do not have the credits they need. They've been retained. They're not on par with the rest of their cohort to graduate. This will give them the opportunity to then go to high school with their cohort and graduate. And we know what statistically happens if kids get retained once or 2 years, they don't graduate. They don't make it out. And our one job is to graduate kids. So the only thing that I was concerned, and Mr. Moody addressed my concern, was I just wanted to make sure that once a child got the credits in middle school, that they could go back into the high school, that they wouldn't be encouraged to stay if they didn't want to stay. If they want to stay, I understand, but they would be given all the options available to them to go back into a traditional high school with their cohort if that's what they desire to do. I will say, in talking to the kids at graduation, and in talking, when I did some I visited Econ River too, which I know is coming up. I've talked to kids that they're like, I can get my work done here. The traditional high school just doesn't work for me. So anyways, I just wanted to state that. So thank you for the work that you do. I'm going to be supportive of this today. Thank you.
Thank you. Member Castrodano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I had some questions. I know in the past, sometimes, with some of our charter schools and practices in the past, these second chance charters, sometimes our kids kind of were pushed out and into these alternate settings. And I want to ensure that we're not doing anything like that, that these 7th and 8th graders, we've done everything we can to maintain them on the right track at their home school. Can you tell me what that process might look like for these 7th and 8th graders? I mean, how are they identified? How do we communicate with their parents that this is an option?
Yes, ma'am. So the school, the charter schools will work directly with nearby middle schools to identify, to make the school aware of this change, as well as the parents, the school, the teachers, the guidance counselors, pardon me, the administrators, as well as the parents in the nearby middle schools, to make sure that they're aware of the benefits of this new program. And for the kids that need that environment, that alternative environment to be successful. So yes, the days of the perceived pushing kids out no longer exist with charter schools. Charter schools, we have a great partnership with ALS. We have representatives here tonight with Accelerated Learning Solutions as well. But yeah, the days of, as you said, pushing kids out, no longer. We have checks and balances with what were then area superintendents are now executive leaders or principal leaders who monitor kind of the exit of students and the reasons why they're being exited. We also work with kids in our schools to help catch them up to speed to accelerate as well. So yeah, the days of the perceived pushing out no longer exist.
Follow up? Go ahead. Thank you for that explanation. Since we're dealing with middle schoolers who we are hoping to really bring up, this isn't like a parent's necessarily initiating this. And since we have that relationship with ALS, is it possible for OCPS to keep tabs on those students, those 7th and 8th graders, so that we know how they're doing and if they're actually accelerating, if this setting is actually helping them, so that we don't lose them in the process? Is that
Certainly.
something that we could do?
Yes, absolutely. We can work with ALS and Allison Kirby, the regional director for ALS, and yeah, absolutely, we can do that. I think we try to do that anyways, but in the past, but yeah, long story short, yes, ma'am, absolutely, we can make that happen.
And one more thing. Is it, I know that their hope is to have the kids catch up if possible, as much as they can, so that they can return to high school, their traditional high school. I just want those students to not feel like they've lost those connections with their traditional high school. Is there a way that we can continue to let them know that that choice still remains when they become eligible to go to that high school, instead of just assuming they're on that path and they can stay at that charter school? I'd like to make sure that they know they are still welcome and that there are ways to come back.
Chair, if it's okay, I'll ask Ms. Allison Kirby.
Hi, thank you. I'll be brief, but I was like, I want to speak. So I've had a great relationship with the chief of high school. He's executive principal leader, Dr. Martinez. I've started something we heard last year that we wanted more collaboration between OCPS and ALS. So every week I send an email which says any students that have enrolled from their schools to the principal and to the guidance counselors. Then every 9 weeks I send a progress report that says what they're doing. And then I've just sent, and I'm about to send you guys in a few minutes, we have our final data, or not a few minutes, a few weeks, the final data for the year, all the graduates. So all principals received who there's, every kid from Winter Park, every kid from Jones that went to the principal. And it was so good to see the reactions, because they wrote back, the counselors, and they were like, I remember Jenny, I'm so glad that she finished. We just had some Oak Ridge counselors come and tour Chancery today, and they were loving seeing on the roster who's there. So that is part of the reason why I think I was a good fit for this, because I'm able to talk to those principals and let them know. So definitely we're ramping up the communication, and in no way, when speaking to the recruitment, it's not really recruitment, it is us talking and having a relationship with the guidance counselors and talking on a kid by kid, student by student basis of who should come.
Thank you. I appreciate your being there as well.
Thank you, guys.
She said it much better than I ever could. So.
Dr. Vasquez, you're recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Allison, for coming up. I was going to chime in. Allison sends me emails, has invited me out, and I've had the opportunity to visit. And there is just a different collaborative environment. Additionally, Mary Bridges with our student services team is going to be working as well to help the guidance counselors through this process, so that it is clear this is a choice. And I will echo what Board Member Gallo said. To see those 500 students, to hear the stories, talk about feeling connected, that was there. That was very, very evident. So Mary Bridges will be working to help train the counselors as well on that process, so that they know this is a choice, and then that you can always come back. What I think is great is that we're trying to catch them before they get to high school, so that they are able to then join their cohort and enjoy all that is high school. So I'm very grateful for the collaboration and how you have taken the experiences as a principal and really turned them into great opportunities, so that our students, can be successful.
Okay, Vice Chair.
I just wanted to share one story, because when at the graduation, we were asking kids, where are you going? What's your plan? What's your plan? What's your plan? And a lot of them said, I'm going to college. Some of them said, they were going to go to community college. Some of them had plans to be nurses, to doctors, but they had a plan, except for one child. One student, I said, what's your plan? He goes, I'm going to get some ice cream. And I said, well, that's a plan. You got a plan. But anyways, most of them had, they had plans for their future, and that's what's most important. They were going to be successful in their future.
None of them going to Disney World, huh?
No, but one was getting ice cream.
Okay. All right. Floor is open for a motion.
I motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair. Do we have a second?
that.
Who did I hear? Member Byrd?
Member Byrd.
Second by Member Byrd. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with all members present voting in the affirmative. All right, next.
Next is 18.02. Chancery Charter High School was approved to operate as a charter school in 2008. The current contract has a 15-year term. The school is located at 7001 South Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando. The governing board for Chancery High School, Charter High School, has requested an amendment to be made to their contract, which will reflect the inclusion of middle school students in grades 7 and 8 who have previously been retained. Madam Chair.
All right, any comments? We have no public comments. Any comments from the board? Is this a new comment, Vice Chair? No. All right, floor is open for a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Member Ferrand. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Vice Chair. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries with all members present voting in the affirmative.
Thank you, Madam Chair. 18.03, Econ River Charter High School was approved to operate as a charter school in 2016. The current contract has a 15-year term. The school is located at 14180 East Colonial Drive. The governing board for Econ River Charter High School has requested an amendment to be made to their contract, which will reflect the inclusion of middle school students in grades 7 and 8 who have previously been retained. Madam Chair.
All right, any members of the board wish to discuss?
I move. Oh, sorry.
We have no members of the public wishing to speak. Floor is open for a motion.
I move to approve the modification of Econ River Charter.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Member Casterdental, a second by Member Salamanca. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with all members present voting in the affirmative. Back to you.
All right. 18.04. Sheila Charter High School was approved to operate as a charter school in 2008. The current contract has a 15-year term. The school is located at 871 East Cimarron Boulevard. And Apopka, the governing board for Sheila Charter High School, has requested an amendment be made to their contract, which will reflect the inclusion of middle school students in grades 7 and 8 who have previously been retained. Madam Chair.
Thank you. No members of the public wishing to speak. Any members of the board? Seeing none, the floor is open for a motion.
Chair, I'd like to move to approve 1804 for Sheila.
Well, I couldn't have done that more simultaneously, but motion from Member Byrd. Do we have a second? Second from Member Felder. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with all members present voting in the affirmative. All right. Go ahead.
One more.
One more. And before I do that, Madam Chair, if I could take the privilege of introducing and recognizing Angela Noreen, the CEO of Accelerated Learning Solutions. She's also here this evening, too. We appreciate her collaborative support. 18.05, Sunshine Charter High School was approved to operate as a charter school in 2014. The current contract has a 15-year term. The school is located at 6600 Old Winter Garden Road, Orlando. The governing board for Sunshine Charter High School has requested an amendment be made to their contract, which will reflect the inclusion of middle school students in grades 7 and 8 who were previously retained. Madam Chair.
All right, no members of the public wishing to address the board. Any comments from board members? Seeing none, the floor is open for a motion. All right, come on, let Member Felder have it.
Yes, finally. I move to approve
the charter.
The charter. Chancery, Sunshine.
This one is Sunshine Charter.
The Sunshine Charter.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Member Felder, seconded by the Vice Chair. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries with all members present voting in the affirmative.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Bixler. Okay. We are on to reports. Superintendent, do you have a report?
I'm looking at the time. I'm going to make one comment, and I'll save my remarks for another board meeting, but we are almost at the start of a new school year. We're so excited for all of the things that are going to be occurring. We do want to encourage our families that if you have not registered your child, please do so as soon as possible. We want to make sure everything is ready for the start of the school year. Additionally, for families that need to make an appointment for pupil assignment, student enrollment, you are able to sign up online. They have added additional dates and times. They're opening on Saturday. They also have walk-ins that are available, and so we do want to encourage you to take advantage of those additional times and register your child. We're looking forward to welcoming them this next school year.
Thank you. Ms. Enville, do you have a report?
Just one minor thing. I know this was our first pilot program for your public comments. As you digest how it went tonight, I welcome your individual thoughts, and then we can arrange to discuss.
Actually, I don't want to take much time, but there is something I would like to change. Because we take the strategic plan after we've had celebratory recognitions, then we go into the District Association Council reports, which are not celebratory, but it was very hard today to contain that enthusiasm. And then we go into the introduction of administrators, which is celebratory. So as the chair, I have to allow everybody to clap and then tell everybody they can't clap and then allow everybody to clap. I think it would make more sense if we moved the comments. I hate to do this to our unions, but I think if we move the comments after we've announced the administrators, because it's never that long. That's the longest it ever gets. And at that point, I can try to break and get the message across that we have to be respectful of our speakers. Okay? Is the board okay with that small change? Okay. Thanks, Clinton. Appreciate your support. Hey, and I got the most important audience, all thumbs up. Hey, you guys have been really helpful today. Honestly, your thumbs up, it's just been helpful to look at you as a barometer. So I'm really glad you're here, okay? Yeah. And we love you.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. With that, yes, one more comment.
No.
Okay, a couple more comments. Go ahead, Member Front.
Okay, so just in regards to the pilot program, just thinking about this, are we able to maybe send anybody who filled out a comment form a little poll or some sort of questionnaire that says, did you like the way that it worked? Did you mind waiting? If you had to wait, if you had to keep it at the 4 o'clock time, would you like that? Like something like that where we're just kind of polling people to see. I don't know if that's even possible.
I think so. So some of the cards I can't read.
Oh, right.
So that's difficult, and I don't want to be sending unsolicited emails to perhaps an email address that I can't read.
Yeah.
But I think I'll talk to the superintendent, and maybe we can come up with a thought exchange or some sort of survey once we've had it for a little bit, and see if we get some good quality feedback.
I do like the idea where we have email addresses but I like the idea of getting that feedback, though. I think that would be valuable.
And I don't know, maybe even like an iPad where they sign up. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe
Well,
they could
that's
just
for our
punch in their email.
electronic thing. We'll have that, but yeah, that's true. Yeah, but it would also be helpful just to understand what did they like or not like, And
then the other thought was with the time. You brought up a great point because we had it where, if I can find my notes, where we had 18 speakers, and then according to our chart, they would be 1 minute each, and that's only 18 minutes. So what if we were to change it to from 1 to 10 people, it's 3 minutes each. From 10 to 20, you'd get 2 minutes each. And then from 21 and up, you'd get 1 minute each.
I think that works. I think that works. Yeah, I'm good with that. Everybody? Yeah. I think because
or maybe we just calculate it every time we go.
No. I mean, I think that's a good idea. I think because we always had the 30 minutes instead of the 45, that's how that number came out.
And that kind of gives us a little bit of cushion too, if there's any need to stop or wait, or gives people time to walk and whatnot.
Yeah, I will say if you have 40 minutes of speaking, you're going to have more than 45 minutes of time because there is time in between, which is fine. We're in the ballpark. Okay. Anything
So can I
else?
have clarification on that? Is that just for I want to make sure that we're clear. Is that just for the non-agenda public comment and also the agenda public comment? Because you have different times. I think it's going to be a little bit, just communicating out this pilot program has been challenging to make sure we get that information out there. So I just want to make I want you to discuss that and let me know.
Is the other...
You can limit the time that they can speak. Just anybody who signs up for an agenda item, there's not it's unlimited amount of speakers.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I mean, I feel pretty strongly about this issue in that if the only time somebody can speak to us on something we're going to vote on is today, I think that person's time is more important than somebody who can talk to us any other time. So I don't think that the people that are on agenda should have less time than those who are on non-agenda. So I would suggest that we extend that time so that instead of it, as Ms. Brown just mentioned, okay? And then, yes, we can reduce the time, and where you end up with a large number of speakers, you often hear the same thing over again. Right. So, okay, so yeah.
Yes, you want the same time increments for both agenda and non-agenda, or you want it different?
The speakers, the 0 to 10 get 3 minutes. 11 to 20 get 2 minutes. Everybody after that gets 1 minute. The only difference between the two is that for non-agendas, we will only take 45 minutes. But for agendaed speakers, we are required to hear everyone, as well we should.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, Member Castellano.
Are we on to the part where the board members get to talk?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. I have a couple points. One is I think we should also, as Stefana recommended, create that controversial topics again in our code, because a lot of teachers still have so many questions about what's going on with standards and books and content and what can we talk about. And I don't think our policies address that right now. So I'm interested in looking for some direction, and I think that can help with our teachers. The second point I want to address is what other people mentioned today a couple times, is the new African American history standards. We've all heard that the commissioner or the Board of Education wants to teach students this dangerous notion that despite the brutal violence and terror, murder, rape, families being ripped apart, that enslaved people personally benefited from being slaves because they developed useful skills along the way. And then the other standard dealing with Ocoee, the Ocoee massacre, which happened right here in Orange County. They assert that the victims were partly to blame when a large white mob came after and killed up to 50 black residents of Ocoee and burned their houses to the ground when a black man tried to vote. And I remember when I learned about the Holocaust, asking my parents, how can people be so cruel? And then also asking, why did other people allow it to happen? And it didn't happen overnight. It happened incrementally. It started slowly, but it was purposeful. The Nazis targeted minority groups. They dehumanized them. They banned books. They divided the community. And they're working from the same playbook today. They're demonizing our LGBTQ kids, African Americans, immigrants. And you can't escape the outrage in the country right now, looking at what's happening in Florida. People are outraged, and rightly so, about these standards, and I cannot, in good conscience, as a board member, ask our teachers, our middle school teachers, to teach this. And I have a problem teaching our students this racist, whitewashed history, and there's already in our schools this underlying culture of fear and anxiety among teachers and librarians because they're in the crosshairs. Their licenses are being threatened And these standards are just adding more chaos to the start of our new school year. So I don't think it's appropriate to wait for guidance from the state about how to implement these standards. They're offensive, they're inaccurate, and they're dangerous. And Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion that the board pursues a legal challenge to halt the implementation of these standards and to prevent our children from being taught to sympathize with white supremacists. And I'd like to ask our community to stand with us.
Okay, let me start by asking if we're properly poised for a motion.
We're not. If it's something that the board wants to add to the agenda, we'll have to do that, and so we know what, we can certainly look into it. I don't know, I would need direction on who we would be challenging, because it's a rule. I don't think that everything has been settled just yet, and we know we don't have standing to challenge a rule made by the DOE.
Member Felder?
Yes, thank you, Amy. And I certainly empathize with what board member Castellanos was expressing. But I do think as a board, before we can move in that direction, that there should be something that we can do as a board to allay the fears of our teachers and parents and librarians with the material that's already out. The children have already learned about the Ocoee massacre. It's already been established in legislation. Former Senator Reverend Bracey introduced it, and it was adopted that they're going to teach it. But I think the concern was that how people feel, and we can't control when you teach material how they feel. I'm not Jewish unless I'm somewhere down in my ancestral line, maybe some Jewish people in me, but in my bloodline. But the first time I read about the Holocaust, I was devastated. When I read Anne Frank's book, I was devastated. I was told to teach about the Holocaust. One year I taught 10th grade. So I took a trip to Amsterdam. I went to Anne Frank's house. I went to the camps, and it just did something to me. I had a whole different aspect about torture and trauma. So I think as a board and with the district, we're such a large district, and every time we go to a state conference, many other counties, they look to us for guidance and direction. And I think that we need to do as much as we can, fellow board members, to explore how we support our teachers in teaching the material, because it has to be taught. But we have to find a way to do it so they can do it and teach it without fear and teach the truth. You know, I just can't get around that. I just can't get around not teaching it, but we have to find a way. And you are our legal advisor, Amy, to show us how to do that before we make the motion or even agree on it. But we have to make sure, because the thing that we don't want is for the board members here to be totally replaced and some other people who have no empathy about any of this that we're talking about. But I am in agreement with the fact that we have to keep our teachers and administration, keep them with peace of mind to teach without fear of repercussion. So we need to work on, when we do our next maybe rule development meeting or something, Amy, we need to talk about ways in which we can help them, because we want them to go in being happy about the material that they're teaching, and the children just learn the history. Learn it, because if you don't learn it, you're doomed to repeat it. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Enval, we'll look forward to hearing back from you. Yes. Okay. Any other comments or questions? All right, with that, this meeting's adjourned.